because you worked hard for it. You took care of it, and it took care of you, your friends, and maybe that someone special. And through it all, we were there working with you, for you, to make sure it was a smooth ride. Farmers Union Insurance. More choices, great rates, local agency. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in this reality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best. Shut up, customers, and makes you feel comfortable, even when you're on hold. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name.
Belly Brothers Auto Tech is the bark of the town. Belly Brothers is one of the top-rated local auto shops in South Dakota. From an oil change to transmission repairs, we'll keep your car with exceptional service at reasonable rates, with plenty of financing options also available. Holding an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau since 2008, Belly Brothers will get your tail wet. And visit Jennifer Young next door for your tax accounting needs.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Trucks and SUVs you're looking for are at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Shop imports and domestics, many local one-owner trade-ins, plus the area's best selection of pre-owned Hondas and Honda certified pre-owned. Buy with no money down and get financing available as low as 1.99% APR. That's no down and financing as low as 1.99%. Our great prices and low financing rates make now the best time to buy. See us at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com.
How do we solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems? Our doctors and specialists collaborate, sharing their vast knowledge and Mayo Clinic's unique expertise. It's this working together that helps solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems. Monument Health, proud member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network.
Season at Denny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet. New Chevy trucks are arriving daily with more inbound. Buy them before they get here and get any available incentives. There's more. We'll give you an additional $1,000 discount on most new Silverado 1500s. It's a Denny Manholt exclusive. Log on to DennyManholtRapidChevrolet.com. Find what's on the way and buy it before it arrives. Truck season is here. Find new roads at Denny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet or DennyManholtRapidChevrolet.com.
You're doing a lot. Maybe you're starting a family, building a home, growing a business. Security First Bank knows your life is constantly changing. And while our commitment remains constant, we're changing too, with tools, technology, and new products from people you trust. For all the ways you're changing and all the things you're doing, we're the bank. Security First Bank. Member FDIC.
Your first car. It might not have been perfect, but that didn't matter. You loved it because you worked hard for it. You took care of it, and it took care of you, your friends, and maybe that someone special. And through it all, we were there working with you, for you, to make sure it was a smooth ride. Farmers Union Insurance. More choices, great rates, local agents. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in hospitality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable, even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name.
Belly Brothers Auto Tech is the bark of the town. Belly Brothers is one of the top-rated local auto shops in South Dakota. From an oil change to transmission repairs, they'll treat your car with exceptional service at reasonable rates, with plenty of financing options also available. Holding an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau since 2008, Belly Brothers will get your tail wagging. And visit Jennifer Young next door for your tax accounting needs.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
The cars, trucks, and SUVs you're looking for are at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Shop imports and domestics, many local one-owner trade-ins, plus the area's best selection of pre-owned Hondas and Honda certified pre-owned. Buy with no money down and get financing available as low as 1.99% APR. That's no down and financing as low as 1.99%. Our great prices and low financing rates make now the best time to buy. See us at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com.
How do we solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems? Our doctors and specialists collaborate, sharing their vast knowledge and Mayo Clinic's unique expertise. It's this working together that helps solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems. Monument Health, proud member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network.
Need tires? Denny Manholt Toyota will beat anyone's price on tires. Plus, give you 2-year road hazard coverage at no extra charge. And for a limited time, get up to $100 rebates on sets of 4 tires. Our experts help you get the right tires for your vehicle, and we meet or beat any price. Give you 2 years of road hazard coverage and up to a $100 rebate. That's how we roll. See us at Denny Manholt Toyota or justhowweroll.com. Rapid Chevrolet. New Chevy trucks are arriving daily with more inbound. Buy them before they get here and get any available incentives. There's more. We'll give you an additional $1,000 discount on most new Silverado 1500s. It's a Denny Menholt exclusive. Log on to DennyMenholtRapidChevrolet.com. Find what's on the way and buy it before it arrives. Truck season is here. Find new roads at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet or DennyMenholtRapidChevrolet.com.
You're doing a lot. Maybe you're starting a family, building a home, growing a business. Security First Bank knows your life is constantly changing. And while our commitment remains constant, we're changing too, with tools, technology, and new products from people you trust. For all the ways you're changing and all the things you're doing, we're the bank. Security First Bank. Member FDIC.
Your first car. It might not have been perfect, but that didn't matter. You loved it because you worked hard for it. You took care of it, and it took care of you, your friends, and maybe that someone special. And through it all, we were there working with you, for you, to make sure it was a smooth ride. Farmers Union Insurance. More choices, great rates, local agents. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in hospitality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable, even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name.
Belly Brothers Auto Tech is the bark of the town. Belly Brothers is one of the top-rated local auto shops in South Dakota. From an oil change to transmission repairs, they'll treat your car with exceptional service at reasonable rates, with plenty of financing options also available. Holding an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau since 2008, Belly Brothers will get your tail wagging. And visit Jennifer Young next door for your tax accounting needs.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
The cars, trucks, and SUVs you're looking for are at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda. Shop imports and domestics, many local one-owner trade-ins, plus the area's best selection of pre-owned Hondas and Honda certified pre-owned. Buy with no money down and get financing available as low as 1.99% APR. That's no down and financing as low as 1.99%. Our great prices and low financing rates make now the best time to buy. See us at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com.
How do we solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems? Our doctors and specialists collaborate, sharing their vast knowledge and Mayo Clinic's unique expertise. It's this working together that helps solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems. Monument Health, proud member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network.
Need tires? Denny Menholt Toyota will beat anyone's price on tires. Plus, give you 2-year road hazard coverage at no extra charge. And for a limited time, get up to $100 rebates on sets of 4 tires. Our experts help you get the right tires for your vehicle, and we meet or beat any price. Give you 2 years of road hazard coverage and up to a $100 rebate. That's how we roll. See us at Denny Menholt Toyota or justhowweroll.com. season at Denny Menho Rapid Chevrolet. New Chevy trucks are arriving daily with more inbound. Buy them before they get here and get any available incentives. There's more. We'll give you an additional $1,000 discount on most new Silverado 1500s. It's a Denny Menho exclusive. Log on to DennyMenhoRapidChevrolet.com. Find what's on the way and buy it before it arrives. Truck season is here. Find new roads at Denny Menho Rapid Chevrolet or DennyMenhoRapidChevrolet.com.
You're doing a lot. Maybe you're starting a family, building a home, growing a business. Security First Bank knows your life is constantly changing. And while our commitment remains constant, we're changing too, with tools, technology, and new products from people you trust. For all the ways you're changing and all the things you're doing, we're the bank. Security First Bank. Member FDIC.
Your first car. It might not have been perfect, but that didn't matter. You loved it because you worked hard for it. You took care of it, and it took care of you, your friends, and maybe that someone special. And through it all, we were there working with you, for you, to make sure it was a smooth ride. Farmers Union Insurance. More choices, great rates, local agents. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
When you ask for Black
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with Colton, who's right here in the area. And a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of Colton today, and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
The cars, trucks, and SUVs you're looking for are at Denny Menho Rushmore Honda. Shop imports and domestics, many local one-owner trade-ins, plus the area's best selection of pre-owned Hondas and Honda certified pre-owned. Buy with no money down and get financing available as low as 1.99% APR. That's no down and financing as low as 1.99%. Our great prices and low financing rates make now the best time to buy. See us at Denny Menho Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com. The cars, truck.
Limestone canyons, flowing waterfalls, and pristine beauty make Spearfish a sanctuary for those seeking the ultimate escape. Outdoor enthusiasts will find top-notch sport climbing, mountain biking, and UTV OHV trails. Guests are steps away from peaceful hiking trails and tranquil streams. Relax and rehash your day's adventure at one of our award-winning local breweries. Finding rest is an important part of any adventure. Lodging in Spearfish comes with a variety of choices, from cabins, B&Bs, and campgrounds to the comforts of your popular brand-name hotels. To find your unique adventure in Spearfish, go to visit Spearfish.com now.
Star Spangled Batter on Jackson Boulevard in Rapid City, South Dakota. Famous for their delicious cakes, cupcakes, and other tasty baked goods. But did you know they're the only bakery in town to offer free consultations? Not to mention free samples when planning your big or small wedding. They also take special orders for that special party for that special someone. Check out their daily specials on Facebook or call ahead to grab some goodies for the office on your way to work. Star Spangled Batter is a proud sponsor of Rapid City sports and activities on liveticket.tv.
Would you buy your insurance from a cartoon character?
What's up, Doc?
Cartoons are good for a laugh, but when you're in an accident or you need your home covered and need help, it's no laughing matter. That's why you need a real person, like Lance at Van Z Insurance Associates. It's not just simple insurance either. Lance has you covered with home, life, auto, and business. Van Z Insurance is your place to call. Stop by today or give Lance a call at 605-393-2399.
Your first
Team. Emma's a member of fall sideline cheer and the competitive cheer team. She was in volleyball for 3 years. She has been on the honor roll for 4 years, maintaining a 4.1 GPA. Emma will attend Steelworth School of Advanced Treatment in Salt Lake City, Utah, to become a medical esthetician. This fall. Aspen is active with Stevens Yearbook. She is still exploring her options for after graduation. Of Michael and Aaron Bitcoin. Abigail is a 3-year participant and letter winner in fall sideline cheer. She has been on the honor roll the past 4 years. After graduation, Abigail plans on attending college and majoring in radiological sciences. Raider senior Abigail Bitcoin. Nicole Zimiga, daughter of Shannon and Brent Zimiga. Nicole is a 3-year participant and letter winner in fall sideline cheer. She is student council co-student body president and Spanish club president. Nicole is also involved in Econ Club, Debate, Wise Club, National Honor Society, and figure skating. Nicole plans to double major in political economy and journalism before going to law school. Raider senior Nicole Zimiga. Graydon Baki, daughter of Sarah Baki and Craig McCarthy. Graydon is a 2-year letter winner in football. He is a 5-year letter winner in wrestling and a member of the 605 South Dakota wrestling team. After graduation, Grayson will wrestle in college or enter the military. Raider senior Graydon Baki. Dane Danley, son of Laurel and Tim Danley. Dane is a 2-year participant and letter winner in football. He also earned a motocross national championship title in Hoosier Arena Cross. Dane is currently pursuing trade school options with a plan of owning and operating his own business. Raider senior Dane Danley. Porter Doney, son of Lonnie and Gabe Doney. Porter is a 4-year participant and 3-year letter winner in football. He was selected all-conference in football. Porter is also a 4-year letter winner in wrestling and the current 152-pound state champion. He was a member of the 2020 team and dual state champions in wrestling. Porter plans to join the military in Special Forces. Raider senior Porter Doney. Hayden Gebhardt. Hayden is the son of Stephanie and Darren Gebhardt. Hayden is a 4-year participant and 3-year letter winner in football. He is a 2-year letter winner in basketball. Hayden is a member of the National Honor Society, maintaining a 3.9 GPA. Hayden plans to attend the University of Wyoming. Raider senior Hayden Gebhardt. Spencer Garrett, son of Megan Hobbit and Leaf Garrett. Spencer is a 4-year participant and 3-year letter winner in football. He has also competed for Stevens in track and baseball. After graduation, Spencer plans on joining forestry firefighting. Raider senior Spencer Garrett. Luke Hansen. Luke is the son of Leah Andropoulos and Jason Hansen. Luke is a 4-year participant and 2-year letter winner in football. He is also a 2-year letter winner in hockey. Luke is on the honor roll and maintains a 3.9 GPA. Luke plans to go to college for civil engineering. Raider senior Luke Hansen. Luka Yakovic, son of Jurek Yakovic. Luka is a 4-year participant and 2-year letter winner in football. He plans to attend Southeast Technical College to study paramedic science and flight nursing. Luka Yakovic. Jed Jensen, brother of Chloe Jensen and son of Amy Jensen. Jed is a 4-year participant and 3-year letter winner in football. He is a member of 2 state champion post-22 hard hat baseball teams. Jed was a member of upcoming royalty as a sophomore. He is also an honor roll student. Jed plans to attend college to study sports medicine. Raider senior Jed Jensen. Lucas Canta, son of Jessica and John Canta. Lucas is a 4-year participant and a letter winner for football. He is also a letter winner in wrestling. Lucas is a member of the National Honor Society, maintaining a 3.9 GPA. Lucas plans to attend Arizona State University to study medical sciences and eventually specialize in anesthesiology. Raider senior Lucas Canta. Arel Lopez, son of Amanda Lopez and Travis Coyle, and also son of Terry and Eric Lopez. Errol is a 3-year participant and 2-year letter winner in football. His hobbies include serving pancakes and fishing. Errol plans to attend Chadron State College to play football and major in wildlife biology and minor in business administration. Raider senior Errol Lopez. Morgan Miller, son of Christy and Mark Miller. Morgan is a 4-year participant in football. His freshman year in football, the team went undefeated. Morgan plans to attend Eastern Wyoming College to study gunsmithing. Raider senior Morgan Miller. Tanner Uten, son of Lisa and Brent Uten. Tanner is a 4-year participant and 2-year letter winner in football. Tanner plans to take a gap year and then join the workforce. Raider senior Tanner Uten. Julian Scott, son of Jamie Tulo Scott and Michael Scott. Julian is a 4-year participant and 3-year letter winner in football. He is also a 3-year letter winner in track. Julian plans to attend college to compete in football and track while pursuing a degree in criminal justice. Raider senior Julian Scott. Nash Silzak, son of Lori and Dwayne Silzak. Nash is a 3-year participant and a letter winner in football. He is a letter winner in basketball as well. Nash is the reigning homecoming king. He is currently undecided as to his plans after graduation. Raider senior Nash Silzak. Aiden Unterbrunner, son of Polly and Todd Unterbrunner. Aiden is a 3-year participant and letter winner in football. He is also a letter winner in basketball. Aiden has been on the honor roll throughout high school. Aiden was a homecoming page his freshman year. He plans to study business after graduation. Raider senior Aiden Unterbrunner. Austin Lee, son of Matthew Lee. Austin is a 2-year participant and a letter winner in football. He also competes in track. Following graduation, Austin plans to attend college in South Dakota to become an electrician or journeyman. Raider senior Austin Lee. Peyton Wojtanowicz, son of Angelica and TJ Wojtanowicz. Peyton is a 4-year participant and 2-year letter winner in football. He is a member of the National Honor Society and Honor Roll. Peyton plans to major in business and marketing with a minor in microeconomics. He also plans to get certified in real estate. Raider senior Peyton Wojtanowicz. One more round of applause for our Raider senior cheer and senior football players. Good evening once again and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Raider football. Tonight the Raiders host Rapid City Central Cobblers. Both Stevens and Central High Schools are members of the South Dakota High School Activities Association, who have adopted the rules under which the games are conducted. A strong commitment to excellence, fair play, and sportsmanship are all vital to this activity's success. We encourage you to cheer for your favorite team during tonight's game. At the same time, please demonstrate the respect you would like to be shown as visitors on their campus. Unruly, threatening, or obscene behavior will not be condoned at tonight's.
It might not have been perfect, but that didn't matter. You loved it because you worked hard for it. You took care of it, and it took care of you, your friends, and maybe that someone special. And through it all, we were there working with you, for you, to make sure it was a smooth ride. Farmers Union Insurance. More choices, great rates, local agents. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today. Your first.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in hospitality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable, even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name. When you ask,
we all want to be happy, but sometimes that doesn't feel possible. But if you have hope, you have everything. Rising Hope Counseling provides high-quality mental health services with locations across South Dakota. Additionally, by providing telehealth, we ensure South Dakota's rural residents have access to high-quality mental health services. Our team lives and works in your communities, and we understand the unique challenges we face. Schedule an appointment by phone or online today. Rising Hope Counseling, offering hope, healing, and change. We all want to be.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Belly Brothers Auto Tech is the bark of the town. Belly Brothers is one of the top-rated local auto shops in South Dakota. From an oil change to transmission repairs, they'll treat your car with exceptional service at reasonable rates, with plenty of financing options also available. Holding an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau since 2008, Belly Brothers will get your tail wagging. And visit Jennifer Young next door for your tax accounting needs.
Now that we're in the final quarter of the year, it's time to start thinking about the 2022 tax year. W-2s and 1099s are scheduled to be out in January, but don't worry, Jennifer Young's Bookkeeping Services has you covered. They stay on top of the ever-changing tax laws impacting small businesses and corporations. Jennifer Young's Bookkeeping has your best interests at heart. Don't wait until the last minute. Get a head start on your 2022 taxes. Call Jennifer Young or go to jenniferyoungsbookkeeping.com or find her on Facebook.
Alternative Fuel Coffee House, located in downtown Rapid City, has been a staple since 2006, offering an espresso bar, smoothie bar, and more. If food is what you're looking for, check out their menu. Using local ingredients for their drinks and recipes is their way of showing how important shopping local is. Come in and visit them during skating and patio season for the best coffee experience in town. Who's filling up your cup? Alternative Fuel Coffee House. Looking to spruce things up for dinner tonight? Order online or buy the Inferno's Food by Fire app for your best meal in Rapid City. Inferno's has the best Stonefire signature pizzas, sandwiches, and fresh salads. Build your own pizza all while watching the latest high school or NFL action. Even better, receive a 10% discount off your next order when you mention Live Ticket. That's at Inferno's Food by Fire. Signature wings, world-class burgers, and the best steak in Rapid City, and 10% off your order when you mention Live Ticket TV. All that, plus a perfect spot to watch the game, found at Shooter's Woodfire Grill. From its full and complete menu to its one-of-a-kind dessert menu, Shooters has everything you want. Use the Shooters app for its daily specials, like Sunday steak specials. And don't forget to mention Live Ticket with your order to receive a 10% discount only at Shooters Woodfire Grill.
It's Chevy truck season at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet. New Chevy trucks are arriving daily with more inbound. Buy them before they get here and get any available incentives. There's more. We'll give you an additional $1,000 discount on most new Silverado 1500s. It's a Denny Menholt exclusive. Log on to DennyMenholtRapidChevrolet.com. Find what's on the way and buy it before it arrives. Truck season is here. Find new roads at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet or DennyMenholtRapidChevrolet.com. It's Chevy.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. Hi, this is Nate Brown reminding you to join the Nate Brown Show live weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. It's Rapid City's sports talk show and Rapid City's only call-in radio show. With big-name guests from across the country to the local sports coverage you just can't get anywhere else. Join the conversation every weekday for thought-provoking sports talk. This is your show. Don't miss the Nate Brown Show from 4 to 6 p.m. on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. And stream us all the time at foxsportsrapidcity.com. Hi,
My kid wrecked his car, his third car. The kid needs a car. We need the kid to have a car. What did I do? I begged my insurance agent for mercy. That's another story. Then I went to Copland Motors in Rapid City and found a safe, reliable car.
Copland Motors is a small, trusted dealership specializing in safe, quality pre-owned vehicles. No pressure, no hassle. Each vehicle is inspected, serviced, and detailed with a warranty like no other. Copland Motors, corner of Campbell and Omaha.
Need tires? Denny Menholt Toyota will beat anyone's price on tires. Plus, give you 2-year road hazard coverage at no extra charge. And for a limited time, get up to $100 rebates on sets of 4 tires. Our experts help you get the right tires for your vehicle, and we meet or beat any price. Give you 2 years of road hazard coverage and up to a $100 rebate. That's how we roll. See us at Denny Menholt Toyota or justhowweroll.com. Need tires?
You're doing a lot. Maybe you're starting a family, building a home, growing a business, or investing in your legacy. Security First Bank knows your life is constantly changing. And while our commitment remains constant, we're changing too, with tools, technology, and new products from people you trust. For all the ways you're changing and all the things you're doing, we're the bank. Security First Bank. Member FDIC.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. battle the Rapid City Central Cobblers with a playoff berth on the line. So a lot at stake here tonight here at O'Hara Stadium. Again, hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Jerome Wickersham along with Dean Gurr. This is the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show presented by J&J Truck and Auto Body. For the highest quality work and hassle-free customer service, let J&J get your vehicle back on the road. That's J&J Truck and Auto Body on East Philadelphia Street in Rapid City. So it's hard to believe that the high school regular season wraps up tonight with Class 11B and 9-man schools already starting their postseason. But we look at tonight's matchup in Class 11 AAA. Rapid City Stevens comes in with an overall record of 2 wins and 6 losses, while Rapid City Central sits at 0-8 on the season. Now, Dean, I know we say this every year, but really on paper, everything points to Rapid City Stevens, being the favorite or having the best shot at tonight's matchup. But the Raiders won last year's game 49-0. But prior to that, Rapid City Central beat the Raiders back in 2020 by a score of 32-28. In fact, between these two teams, going back 10 years ago, these two teams have each won 5 contests. So it's really anyone's game tonight, and they know they have a lot at stake.
Yeah, it definitely is. And when you watched both games from last week, and you're trying to measure, you do this with every team that you see, and every game you see, oh, this team's better, this team's not. But you look at what happened in the games, and at the 25-second mark, 25 game seconds into the game where Stevens was playing Sioux Falls Roosevelt, the whole playoff picture, at least in the Rapid City area for these two schools, absolutely changed. We thought the Raiders had a good shot at beating Roosevelt, and I thought they still did, and I think they still do if they would have played them again. But after a kick return and a muffed kick on kick return, and so 2 quick scores, 25 seconds into the game. Now all of a sudden the Raiders are down, and they were out the whole entire game. Just absolutely put a boot right to their face. Did the Rough Riders do to the Raiders, and basically ran, pardon the expression, roughshod all over them through the rest of the game. So that sets up tonight what we have here in front of us. These two teams, it's the setup for playoffs. Like you said, the winner goes in. The Cobblers thought, hey, if we have to win last week, and then, that's probably it. And I know I opened the show last week by saying, you have to tell your team, hey, as long as we have a chance, keep going. And I think that's the same this week. The Cobblers coming in. As long as there's a chance, keep going. And when we watched the Cobblers play O'Gorman last week, the second and third quarter, how the Cobblers offense, at least their offensive line, carved up the middle of that O'Gorman defense. I went back and watched it. I was like, wow, it was amazing. I loved it. So, like you said, anything can happen. Playoff berth on the line, excitement level high.
Absolutely, and since 2004, Rapid City Central is 11-8 against Rapid City Stevens. But like I said, these two teams have split, each winning 5 contests in the last 10 meetings between these two teams. Well, this is the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. We will pause for the national anthem. We will return in 2 minutes right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Switch on the lights, we switch the TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. I'm State Farm agent Scott Carlson right here in Rapid City, and I can switch you over and you can start saving today. Me and my team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just call me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson. Want the real deal? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Switching is easy.
At Monument Health Orthopedics.
I'll have to try to squeeze in the starting lineups.
I'll make it short and sweet.
Okay. Ross from Cabela's and also on JB Road in Blackhawk. Again, Dean, these two teams seem to be splitting year after year. What do they need to do tonight, though, to get that victory?
Well, tonight's going to be quite interesting. There's really two simple keys to the game. For both sides, it's mistakes. They've been either turning the ball over, blown coverages, blown assignments, penalties, all those mistakes. That's going to be key for both teams. But the biggest key, I think, is going to be the offensive line of the Cobblers. If the Cobblers can do what they did to O'Gorman last week, if they can do that to the Raiders tonight, the Raiders struggled against Roosevelt on stopping the run. They can do that same thing, keep the ball, hold on to it. They practically held the ball for the entire third quarter last week. If they do that and keep Jed Jensen and the Raider offense off of the field, I think the Cobblers have a chance at this game.
And that's today's Keys to the Game, being brought to you by Dakota Discount RV. Again, with two locations across from Cabela's and also on JB Road in Blackhawk. So today's players to watch, that's powered by High Plains Physical Therapy and Aquatic Therapy Center. Remember, you have a choice on who to see for physical therapy in Rapid City. With a state-of-the-art facility and one-on-one treatment, get started at highplainspt.com. Dean, our players to watch.
Well, obviously, when the Raiders have the ball, it's going to be huge. Jed Jensen, everything circles around him. The plays that he makes, he's got a pretty decent cast around him. He can get the ball to him. As long as that can happen, the Raiders will be able to move the ball and score easily because of the defense that they're facing of the Cobblers. I'm going to break the rules, Jerome. I'm sorry about that, but the players to watch, I'm going to say players, plural, because it is literally going to be Will Papke, Christian Redleaf, Ben Papke, Ty Black Elk Volkman, and he specifically, and then Ryland Lamke, and then with their help with Zach Soderlin at quarterback. That offensive line, if they do what they did last week, I think it's going to be a very tight, close game.
And it definitely could be. Again, when these two teams met 2 years ago, Rapid City Central won that game 32-28. So we'll move on to today's starting lineups. They're being built by Connect Home Center. Whether it's residential or commercial, Connect Home Center has been your hometown lumberyard since 1928. And Dean, I'll let you take a look. You'll watch the coin toss, coin flip out there.
I'm going to do some presentations or something here, so we got a minute.
So we'll take a look at the starters first for the designated visiting team. That is Rapid City Central here tonight. Their starting lineup looks like this. The quarterback is number 5, Zach Soderlin. Comes out of that Wildcat. Zach Soderlin is a 5'9", 175-pound junior. At a running back is number 43, Sawyer Saucerman. He is a 5'8", 190-pound senior. The wide receivers are number 3, Braden Mount. He is a 5'9", 150-pound senior. And the other wide receiver, number 22, Jace Johnson. Jace is a 6'1", 190-pound senior. The tight ends are number 82. That's Barack Corrigan, a 6'1", 200-pound sophomore. And also number 47, Jackson Fairchild, a 6'1", 205-pound senior. And the line for the Central Cobblers, the left tackle is number 50, Will Papke. Will is a 6'4", 255-pound senior. The left guard, number 62, is Christian Redleaf, a 5'11", 215-pound sophomore. The right tackle, number 70, Ben Papke, a 6'1", 240-pound sophomore.
And I see Ben is actually not even dressed tonight. I see him in plain clothes, so I wonder what's going to happen there.
Mm-hmm. Also, the right guard, number 63, Ty Black Elk Volkman. And Ty is a 6', 215-pound junior. And the center is number 55, Rylan Lamke. And Rylan stands 5'11", 180 pounds, and a senior. Head coach Neil Cruz for the Rapid City Central Cobblers. Looking at the starting lineup now for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, their lineup looks like this. The quarterback is number 6. That is Jed Jensen. He is a 5'11", 170-pound senior. The wide receivers, they go 4 wide. Number 7, Julian Scott, a 6', 175-pound senior. Nash Sobzak, wearing number 9, he is a 6'4", 190-pound senior. The other wide receiver who really came on this season, number 1, Beck Morgan, he is a 5'10", 170-pound junior. And Cale Meisman, number 11, a 6'4", 190-pound junior. The running back is Luke Hansen, number 25. He stands 5'8", 185 pounds, and a senior. On the line for the Raiders will be Raul Lopez, the left tackle, wearing number 58, a 6'3", 260-pound senior. Aiden Kellogg is your starting left guard, wearing number 52. He is a 5'10", 220-pound sophomore. At center is number 69, Thomas Mardian, a 6'4", 300-pound junior. Tanner Otten is the right guard, wearing number 74, a 6', 190-pound senior. And Elias Gillen is the right tackle, wearing number 77. He is a 6'6", 280-pound sophomore. And again, the head coach for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders is Michael Scott.
So obviously, like you said, reading off the starting lineups for the Cobblers, Ben Papke. I know he was injured in that last game. I don't know how much he played after or if he played at all after that injury. I know they took him off, but like I said, he's got a hoodie on under his number 70 there. So interesting who they've got to sub that in. But I talked about Ty Black Elk Volkman, junior right guard. The Cobblers do this up front. It's basic, simple football. You talked about Zach, the Wildcat Soderlund, and how he runs things, and they basically double team. They, somewhere between the guard and the center, the two guards and the center, they double team someone. He finds that double team, reads it, they blow that person out, and then read the linebackers, the linebacker fills. So they're expecting the linebackers to fill, and that's what O'Gorman did. They filled, and then when they did that, Zach Soderlund popped it outside.
And there's the kickoff. The game is underway of the Rapid City rivalry. On the return, that is number 33. That is Jackson Verminson. He takes it out to the Cobbler, 34-yard line. Nice start there for Rapid City Central. 74 degrees here at kickoff.
And I'll tell you what, everybody must have been excited, busy getting something to eat or something, because that crowd was empty 15 minutes ago, and now it's packing in pretty well.
And you can always tell, too, you look at all the cars by the railroad tracks, right, and you can see how many cars are here tonight. Of course, it is a designated Rapid City Stevens home game here tonight.
You might have to catch an Uber and park down by somewhere else and catch an Uber in here.
So the Cobblers will have the football now. We'll take a quick look at our crew. They're discussing something out there. The Law on the Field is brought to you by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office and Division of Consumer Protection. Today's officials are Scott Jacobson, the referee. Your umpires, John Weber. Mike Oster is the line judge. Jason McGow, the head linesman. And Joe Jacobson is your back judge. So I'm not sure the officials now talking to over there at the sideline of the Raiders. I didn't see any penalty markers.
I didn't either, and I'm not quite sure.
And we'll try to see if Scott Jacobson is mic'd up tonight. We'll try to catch that. Again, a great crowd on hand. They said that the ramp spaces were sold out here tonight. Just a huge crowd, always is, for the Rapid City rivalry.
Is it 54? I'm trying to see. I can't see in the huddle there who the additional cobbler is. It looks like Brody Neal is going to be the one who steps in for Ben Patke.
There's Ryan Wetch. He's in there at quarterback. There's the handoff to the left side of the line for the Cobblers to get this game started. Taking it from the 34 out to the 38.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're just going to test things and see what the Raiders are going to do. Obviously, the Raiders, smart team. They watch film. They watch what happened last week. So I would guess they're probably going to bring about 8 guys in the box, just play man coverage on the outside, and just dare them to throw the ball.
2nd and 6 coming up for the Cobblers. Tight formation. Ryan Wetch, who does get the starting nod at quarterback, takes the snap, shotgun, hands it off. It goes to Soderlund. Soderlund to the right side of the line, takes it out past the 40 to the 41. And that's going to bring up 3rd and short now for the Cobblers. They need to get to the 44-yard line for a first down. So we're looking at 3rd and 3 for Rapid City Central.
Again, that's the one thing that they've had working for them this year. If you look at, unfortunately they haven't won a game, and most games they weren't even in. And so what has worked? Giving the ball up the gut. Let that line push.
There's the direct snap. It's going to go to Soderlund. We see a penalty marker come flying in from the umpire as he gets what appears to be a first down, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's either going to be an illegal block or a hold.
Number 62.
And that's a hold.
So it would have been a first down, but instead they're going to move the Cobblers back now to make 3rd and long, back at the 30-yard line of the Cobblers.
Right, and we talked about the mistakes. The Cobblers have very, very little room for error. When you drag out a game like this, again, you have to be able to get something positive on every down. You got to be able to move it because you can't be forced into 3rd and long situations. And that's where they're at right now. It's a passing situation, but that's where they struggle.
This is that Fairchild out of the pocket there. That was Jackson Fairchild. He rolls out to his right. It's incomplete.
It was simple man bump coverage. They did an out route, not anywhere near the first down, and just the play design on that one is a little suspect. I'm just what you're trying to do. Wetch is your quarterback, right? He can throw the ball. He's been the starter for pretty much most of the year.
So here's the punt by Rapid City Central, end over end. Corderdoni lets it bounce inside the 35-yard line, and it's going to come to or just die there at the 33-yard line. So the Raiders will have the football for the first time tonight as we dig into the Kearney files tonight. Again, since 2004, Rapid City Central is 11-8 against Rapid City Stevens. And in the last 7 matchup, the Raiders, though, are 4-3 against the Cobblers. The Raiders come in averaging 19.5 points per game, while Rapid City Central is averaging just 8.5 points per game.
And that's not the way the Cobblers wanted to start this game. We talked about the keys to the game. Mistakes, and you got to be able to get that offense to just grind. And unfortunately, the grind came to a halt.
Trips left, one receiver right. They're going to air it down the field. It's going to be for Beck Morgan, and Chet Jensen overthrows Beck Morgan, and he's a speedster, but that one just a little too far.
Yeah, just going for the home run ball right away, and I wouldn't be surprised if that ball is flying all over the place. They might have to call in the radar because the ball is going to be flying. Just because we got a penalty here, but just the bottom line is Jensen can throw it. He's got receivers that can run good routes, and the Cobblers really struggle in that secondary to try to stop somebody.
So this is going to move the ball back inside the 20, back to the 16-yard line. So now we're looking at first.
So we got a 15-yard penalty. Yep. The Raiders had one of those last week that we've talked about this all year, those penalties that just extend and kill drives all over the place. Now they've got one of them early here in the first play.
1st and 27 now. Here's Jensen, hands the ball off. It goes to, no, they fake the handoff down the right sideline. That's going to be Jed Jensen. He's going to be forced out of bounds at the 37-yard line. I know he fooled me up here as he fakes the handoff and then takes it up for a nice gain there.
I'm just glad you weren't running the camera on that one.
Exactly. I would have lost him.
Yeah, they'll do that plenty. Again, they use his speed, and the Cobblers have to defensively. They just have to be able to cover all facets of the field, and they really struggle in that area. So you put the Raiders on the field, who after they were in the hole quickly. For the most part, they were down 35-0. They actually put a couple of drives together. They hurt one in one penalty. They went for a 4th down on another one, so they can do some things.
Here's Corder Doney down that left sideline, and he's going to get enough for a 1st down. So the Raiders, who at one point they were looking at 1st and 27, now they're going to move the chains as they are 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to try to run the ball a little bit more than normal, knowing that they have that passing attack in their pocket at whatever they need. So getting Corder out there doing his thing. Luke Hansen's going to get his opportunities here.
Spread offense with 2 receivers to each side. Coming in motion now. There's the pass. It goes to Meisman out of the backfield at the 45, the 50, into Cobbler territory. Cuts back to his right. He's at the 30, the 25, 20, down to the 15-yard line for Cale Meisman.
A great job of blocking at the point of attack. Again, he just comes in motion behind the quarterback all the way out, and they just dump it to him, a little screen on the outside, and he's got blockers in front of him doing great job, one-on-one blocking, and then he jukes 2 Cobblers at about the Cobbler 45-yard line.
A 39-yard catch and run there for Cale Meisman, and now the Raiders in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the Cobbler 16. Jensen from the shotgun has Scott go in motion on that jet sweep. He hands it to Scott. He cuts back to his right, but he's going to be wrapped up after a short gain to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, Scott, that jet sweeps, jets are always designed to go to the outside, and he saw that, but he also saw the block of Luke Hansen right in front of him, and he tried to read that and cut back inside, and the Cobblers were able to at least cover it up for the moment.
Again, we appreciate those tuning in or watching us on RaidersLive.com tonight. Raiders in business right now, 2nd and 8. There's the shotgun snap out of the backfield, trying to get it to Hansen, but it is incomplete.
Wow. I thought for sure that pass was backwards.
It was intended for Luke Hansen. They're going to rule it incomplete.
And what they're doing is they're just daring the Cobblers to come up. Say, look, we're going to chip away these little short routes. You're going to come up, and then we're going to hit some home run balls. Beck Morgan, Cale Meisman, and company.
I agree with you, though. I thought that one was thrown backwards as well.
I was waiting for him to jump on it, and then all of a sudden you hear a whistle.
Trips right, 1 receiver left. That's going to be Meisman on the left side. Jensen, shotgun snap, looking for Meisman. On an out route there, catches Meisman. He runs out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. We're looking at 4th down coming up now for the Raiders.
Last week, Jensen he was just a little off target. Some of his throws going to a little under one. Meisman had one that he had to kind of stop and come back to, and the defender was able to catch up and knock his hands away. So they had some big play opportunities, but just were not firing on any cylinders at all. And I think it probably had to do with the fact that you get a kick return, then you recover it wasn't even an onside kick. It was just they did a great job of kicking it to a spot where the Raiders weren't. Then they recovered that, scored right away, got the ball 3 and out, got the ball, scored again. And all of a sudden now you're down 3 scores and you're barely even halfway through the first quarter.
So the Raiders, facing 4th and 5 on the Cobbler 11. They will take a timeout to talk about it, decide if they want to go for it or what their decision is. While we have a quick moment, we'll take a look at some scores. Again, playoffs being played across the state as it's the first night of playoffs. In Class 11B, With 3 minutes left in the second, number one winner all over Lee Deadwood tonight, 62-0 is your final. I don't see anyone stopping winner. They seem unstoppable once again.
I like Elk Point Jefferson, honestly. I think that's going to be a great game.
And at halftime, Elk Point Jefferson 42, Rapid City Christian 7. And as they start the third period there on eastern South Dakota, it's St. Thomas More 10 and Dual 7. And I know you texted me earlier, Dean, that Lee Negebauer is back.
Yes, Lee Negebauer. I watched Matthew Larson. He was in it as well. They are as east gets. I think they're right on the border.
Following his blocker now, here's Jed Jensen heading for the end zone, and he is in for the touch. No,
they're going to say no.
He did not. They say he went out of bounds. Jed Jensen followed his blocker, but he goes out of bounds inside the 1 yard line.
I think he just tried to make a cut and stick that ball in and got his right foot right on the edge of the line, the official right there to make that call. And boy, first and goal at the 1 here, at the less than 1.
And a penalty marker, though, back at the 8 yard line. We'll try to, again, tune in to the white hat tonight. That is Scott Jacobson.
And again, it's mistakes that it sure can just turn a team around. You think, boy, this team is just physically able to dominate, and you know, the Raiders just
offense, number 9, 10-yard penalty, 3-play fourth down.
Just making mistakes, those holding penalties like that. The Raiders, their first play had a penalty. They had to back up 15 yards on that one. The Raiders, after an incredible game against Sioux Falls Lincoln that we had right here on Fox Sports, they have scored 3 points in the last 2 games. 3.
So that penalty will change things for the Raiders. Jed Jensen will be the holder. Parker Mesmer comes out to attempt a 35-yard field goal. And this one is wide left. So just like that, when things looked like the Raiders were in business, they get pushed backwards and then miss the field goal.
I think that almost hit the ambulance the way it got hooked over there. So how about that? We talked about mistakes. Quickly, it was going to be, you know, my big key tonight, the mistakes. The Cobblers got hampered by it. Their one mistake put them in a long situation. They had to punt the ball away in a situation where they didn't want to be in. The Raiders, 2 big mistakes in this drive alone. They overcame the first mistake. This one they couldn't, and get a missed field goal. And I was, after watching the Cobblers last week, I was like, okay, this game against the Raiders is going to be very interesting. Of course, I had to watch the Rough Rider game first to come to that, to see where the Raiders are at, cruising into the end of the season. And like I said, 3 points in the last 2 weeks. They absolutely got thumped by the Rough Riders out of the gate. It was over so quickly, and I think mentally for a team, you're just gone. And so this is an interesting mental battle for both teams.
Here's Ryan Wetch now, hands the ball off. This one goes to, I think that was
Zach Soderlin. Yep,
Soderlin.
Looked like it. He's the only one I not see out there, so he must have been on the bottom of the pile.
That is Zach, number 5. He gets up from the bottom of that pile. Again, 8:15 remaining here in the first quarter. We are scoreless on the State Farm scoreboard between Rapid City Stevens, the designated home team, and the Rapid City Central Cobblers. The winner of tonight's game will advance to play the top seed in the Class 11 AAA playoffs next Thursday night. This is going to be Soderlin now to the right side of the line, and he's going to have enough for a first down as he takes it from the 27 to the 32-yard line, and that'll move the chains for the Cobblers.
Yeah, again, this is exactly what they need to do. They just came up with a goal line stand. You look at it, a defense that is so porous that you could run water through anywhere you wanted to on that one. And now all of a sudden, they come up with a big stand here. The Cobblers now get the ball back. They're grinding it out like they did last week.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. I formation. Wetch hands the ball off, and it looks like in the backfield, that was Soderlin. He hits a stop sign, as he is going to be stuffed at the 30-yard line.
Oh, I love it. Number 78 for the Raiders come flying in. That's Caden Strong, the nose tackle. Comes right off of the block of Rylan Lemke.
That's going to be a loss of 2 yards. 2nd and 12 now from the Cobbler 30.
Again, they have to be able to get something positive on each one of them. Is that going to be the play that stops this drive?
Now they go to that tight formation, and it looks like Soderlin out of the Wildcat. Has Sosserman lined up to his right. We're going to get a timeout, I think. We do.
And so you see what the Raiders are doing. They're putting 3 interior linemen. They're like, look, you're not going to push us off here, and if you try to double team, one of my other linemen is going to sneak in. So 3 interior linemen. They got 2 defensive ends. They're a 5-man front. You usually don't see that unless you're running around the goal line, but good scouting by the Raiders, and we'll see if it pays off.
While we're at a timeout here, quickly, we'll take a look at the Class 11 AAA playoff picture. Dean, I know that you kind of mapped that out already.
Yeah, so Sioux Falls Jefferson really has nothing to play for tonight except for, momentum into the playoffs. So they're going to be the number 1 seed. Lincoln's going to be the number 4 seed. Harrisburg and O'Gorman play tonight. The winner's going to be 2. The loser will be the 3 seed. Now it gets a little bit interesting. Brandon Valley and Washington play. If the winner is the 5th seed and the loser isn't necessarily the 6th seed, actually Roosevelt could sneak up to number 6 if the right teams lose right there. And of course, we talked about this game. The winner advances to play Sioux Falls Jefferson, and the loser is done.
Right now, Brandon Valley 35, Sioux Falls Washington 26, and also Harrisburg 14, O'Gorman 3 as they start the 3rd period. Here's the Cobblers now on 2nd and 12. They'll hand the ball off. This one is going to go to, looks like Soderlin once again. Zach Soder. No, that's 43. So that is going to be Sawyer Saucerman, and he's wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. So now we're looking at 3rd and 12 for the Cobblers.
That was Gideon Waldrop, the linebacker. Again, they probably worked on this all week after watching film. You're like, okay, guys, first of all, we have to be able to fill. We can't let them just push forward. So the linebackers, your first step is your read step. You see what the guard's doing. If you see the guard double down on one of the defensive linemen, you fill, and that's going to be the gap that they're coming through. So the linebackers have to read that, and they have to fill, and exactly what Waldrop did that time.
Here's Ryan Wetchin at quarterback now. It's a spread offense. He takes it from the shotgun. Throws down the middle of the field on 3rd down.
Again, they are just not a 3rd and long team at all, and like we said, that play by Caden Strong coming in, you have to get positive yards each down for the Cobblers, or at least keep it manageable. And that one got knocked backwards. The next one gained nothing, and so then you're in 3rd and long, and again, that's where the Cobblers don't want to be.
Here's the punt by the Cobblers. Corderdoni takes it at the 35-yard line, runs backwards. Now he's at the 40, still on his feet, cuts back to his left, but he's tripped up as he gets to the 48-yard line.
Wow, that looked like he had open opportunity to go somewhere. And I think, is it Denham Rodham? Is that number 9 who came in and made that stop? And he was one cut away from cutting it right up the field.
Yes, he was. So again, the Raiders will have the football for the 2nd time tonight. They drove the field last time. They come up empty on a missed field goal by Parker Mesmer. And so now they're trying to get on the scoreboard with 5:54 to go here in the first quarter, and we are scoreless. There's the handoff to Hansen. Hansen gets through the gap on the left side. He's into Cobbler territory, inside the 45-yard line, down to about the 43.
See a flag,
maybe 42.
Flag coming late. I don't know if we're going to get a hold over there or if it's going to be a face mask. Kind of right at the point of the play, right where he met his biggest resistance before they drove him out of bounds. That's 3 penalties, if I'm not mistaken, against the Raiders offensively.
3 penalties against the Raiders, only 1 against the Cobblers. And that seems to have, the games we've done all season long, it has seemed to hamper the Raiders, just these untimely penalties.
Right, and it wasn't necessarily last week, although that hurt one of the drives that they had. They had an extended 15-yard penalty. It was almost a nothing. The defender came up and chucked after the ball was well thrown over him. He just chucked him.
1st and long now. There's the pass. They lob it to Scott. Scott on this near side into Cobbler territory. Forced out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. So they get a lot of those yards back on 1st and 14. In fact, he gets about 12 of those yards back. We'll see where they spot it. It looks like at the 44-yard line. Need to get to almost the 41. They're about 2.5 yards shy of that first down marker.
And like I said in the pregame, I don't think that the Raiders will have too many issues moving the ball. Now, obviously, they got stopped on the goal line there, so hats off to the Cobbler D. But I think just there's so many weapons here the Raiders have.
Scott in motion again. They'll roll out to this near side.
Option.
Now Jensen on the option, cuts back to his left. He's at the 40-yard line, still on his feet. He's going to be grabbed from behind and stopped at the 35-yard line. But that right now looks to be a first down for the Raiders. I don't see any laundry out there.
Nope, not at all. The laundromat is closed, at least for the moment.
For the moment, yeah.
But, yeah, a good job. Again, Jensen, he's so shifty. I think the Rough Riders did a good job last week. They put a spy on him. Taden Nave was in his hip pocket when he juked. Nave juked right with him, and so they held him in check for the most part, able to run around. And that's one thing that the Cobblers will have to do tonight.
2 receivers to each side. Jensen out of the shotgun. He has more one man go in motion. Now again, the option, they pitch it to the right side. That's going to go to Corder Doney. Doney tries to escape the tackler, but he's ankle tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets a half a yard.
Cobblers did a good job of playing that. You want to force the quarterback to pitch the ball. You want, if you're playing, you got to be able to extend the play out. So a pitch gets the ball another second or so before it crosses into your territory, so that gets another chance to close it out, and that's exactly what they did. Jensen kind of shuffled his feet. I thought maybe he might cut up, but threw it to the last second, and by that time, he's outside the numbers, and the Cobblers did a good job of corralling him.
2nd and 9 for the Raiders. Trips left, 1 receiver right. Again, here's Jed Jensen out of the shotgun, fakes the handoff, screen pass left side, caught by Scott. Scott at the 30, down the left sideline, still in bounds for a while there, but forced out of bounds. We'll see where. Looks like at the 25-yard line.
And I'll tell you what, you can just feel this coming. Look at all these short games. It's all short. You know, at some point in time that the ball's going to fly. Obviously, it flew the first play of the game, so they let the Cobblers know right away that, hey, we are not afraid to throw that ball down the field.
Again, this game coming your way on Fox Sports Rapid City and online at foxsportsrapidcity.com. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Cobbler 25-yard line. They'll hand it to Hansen. Hansen takes it right up the gut there. He's going to be stopped after a gain of about 4 yards down to the 21-yard line.
I kind of saw Jensen kind of glance over here, looking to see who was guarding who.
And the 4th penalty of the night for Rapid City Stevens, and we're still in the first quarter. Great crowd on hand tonight, of course. Always is. It wouldn't matter if these teams, were
both
what their record. Yeah, 0-8. You're always going to have just a great participation. Of course, you'll have later on the cheerleader race. They have the tuba race. I mean, just a lot of festivities surrounding this ball game here tonight between Rapid City Stevens and Rapid City Central. Now the Raiders looking at 1st and 17. They go trips right, 1 receiver left. Ball on the left side, hash marks. A little out route there by Cale Meisman. It's going to be a short gain there as he's forced out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Obviously, I don't know anything about either the inside information through either one of these teams, but it makes me wonder, what's Cale Meisman think about facing his old team?
Yep.
I don't know if he played football last year. I know he did the year before because he was his brother.
Was injured some last year.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and so anyway, getting here, and he's had obviously a big impact for the Raiders, so for him to get out there and play against his old mates.
Trips right again with 1 receiver left. That'll be Meisman. They'll give the handoff to Hansen right up the middle. He's going to be at the 20, still on his feet inside the 15-yard line. A nice fake there. They faked the... it looked like Jensen kind of tucked it away at first, I thought. Instead, he hands it to Hansen, and Hansen gives the Raiders a first down inside the 15.
Yeah, just a draw play there. They're just trying to get the pursuit of the Cobblers up the middle. Clears that hole. There's lots of room to run.
So the Raiders now in position once again to try to add some points to the scoreboard. We're scoreless with 3:29 to go. Jensen out of the shotgun again. Looks to his right, throws to the corner, or throws to the sideline there. It is incomplete, intended for Julian Scott.
Last-minute substitutions. Hansen running off, Doney running in, so I don't know if he's the designated blocking back or whatever, but...
So the clock is stopped with 3 minutes and 22 seconds The Raiders now 2nd and 10 from the 12-yard line of the Cobblers. They'll go trips left with Meisman lined up to the right. Doney is going to be in the backfield. Now he goes in motion. Jensen takes the snap, looks back to his right, gets it to Meisman. Meisman shakes off one defender, headed for the end zone, cuts back to his left, and he is going to be stopped just shy of the goal line.
How about that? The catch, he did a stiff arm, shoved his guy out of the way, cut inside. I thought he had a clear path, but I didn't see who snuck over there at that last minute and did for the moment at least, a touchdown-saving tackle.
Mm-hmm. It's now going to be 1st and goal for the Raiders once again. They were in this position just moments ago, or a little while ago, right. But they had that penalty that pushed them back, and now 1st and goal for the Raiders.
Just a dive right up the middle of Hansen.
There's Jensen, hands it to Hansen. Hansen right up the gut, and he's in for the score. Yeah, Luke Hansen takes it in from a yard out.
Yeah, you could read the easy one because he's been able to do that this year. We were wondering after Uriah Glenn graduated from the Raiders last year who would take over that running back spot. Luke Hansen, I thought he's done an admirable job doing it. And again, they just put a fullback there. They just do a simple little dive play right off the left guard and easily into score.
And the extra point is good with 2:52 to go here in the first quarter on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. It's Rapid City Stevens 7, Rapid City Central nothing. We're back in 30 seconds right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City and online at foxsportsrapidcity.com.
That's Indiana Jones.
Is it?
Dun, 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 dun,
oh, it
dun,
is.
Dun, dun. Which actually sounds a lot like the Superman movies, but that theme, but it's just a little bit different.
And welcome back to Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium in Rapid City. We are here at the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation. Parker Mesmer gets set to kick off for the Raiders. They lead 7-0 over the Rapid City Central Cobblers. With Dean Gurr, I'm Jerome Wickersham. Here is Parker Mesmer now, kicking from the 40, going from left to right. This one, end over end, taking inside the 10-yard line. It's dropped by the Cobbler. I think it's Jace Johnson. Then he's going to be forced out of bounds and actually flung out of bounds there at the 25-yard line.
I was waiting for the flag to come in, but he must have got his hands on him just enough in bounds because you saw some of the Cobbler players right there like, hey. But, talk about a momentum killer when you just don't field that cleanly and on the run. We saw that last week, a couple of good returns by the Cobblers when they actually fielded on the run. You're on the run forward, you get it, your momentum, and all of a sudden you're flying down the field. And when you have to pick it up off the ground, that just doesn't happen.
So the Cobblers now with the football for the third time in this first quarter. They were forced to punt on their first two drives. From the shotgun now, that'll be number 5. That's going to be Zach Soderlin on the Wildcat, or quarterback keeper. Takes it to the 30-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 4 yards, so 2nd and 6 coming up for the Cobblers.
You could see that as he read it, he saw the hole close up quickly, was going to bounce to the outside, but the Raiders did a good job. The ends stayed upright. The outside linebackers stayed there and forced him to stay inside, and he did a good job of getting 5 yards because it could have been worse.
One receiver to each side now. From the shotgun is Soderlin. Hands the ball off to Sosserman. He'll get to the left side of the line, gets through the gap. Penalty marker comes flying in there as he is tackled at the 35-yard line for a gain of 5.
I tell you what officials do, they get together, whether it's volleyball, basketball, or football, or whatever it is, especially rivalry games like this. They get together and they talk about rules, they talk about mechanics, but they also talk about the contest in front of them. What kind of game do we have? What can we expect? We've done these teams before. What can happen? Is it a rivalry game? Is there bad blood between them at one point or another? So the officials are going to be on top of a lot of things tonight because they don't want anything to get out of hand.
Ryan Wetch has come back in at quarterback, I believe. No, it is Soderlund still. And Soderlund, this time to the right side of the line, tried to find some space, but it collapsed quickly on him as he is tackled back at the 21-yard line. No gain on that carry by Soderlund.
Again, that penalty, it was a holding against the Cobblers, back them up. Now they're in 3rd and long. They tried to make it more manageable, but didn't get anything out of that. Now they're going to be forced to run the ball. I think the Raiders are going to stay in cover 2, but it might be a man cover 2.
Jace Johnson lined up to the left. Braden Mount lined up to the right. Here's Zach Soderlund out of the shotgun. There's the snap. Gives the handoff to Sosserman. Sosserman right up the gut, gets out past the 30-yard line. A nice run there, but not enough for a first down for the Cobblers as he takes it to the 31-yard line.
Yeah, and a good job that time as they anticipated the throw. So it was just a single high safety. The Raiders not taking any chances with that running game. We're going to keep all our guys in the box, man coverage to the outside, but they are able to cover these receivers. So still, the Cobblers are just not able to pass.
And this one is going to be blown dead as the Cobblers punt the football.
Offense, number 4, 5-yard penalty.
So penalty against the Cobblers. That is going to be their 3rd tonight. And the Raiders with 4 penalties all in this first quarter. Wow. 7 penalties between the two teams as we wind down under 30 seconds.
Boy, all these penalties, it makes you wonder what's going to happen here.
A snap over the head of the punter. It's in the end zone, and he's going to be tackled in the end zone for a safety. It flies over the head of number 33, Jackson Verminson. He tries to chase down the football, and he is going to be tackled in the end zone for a safety.
Wow. Mistakes. Again, bad snaps, two penalties on that drive alone. The Raiders have just defensively have brought it tonight. That first drive, they gave up a couple of plays, but since then, it's been that tough, hard-nosed power football inside, and the Raiders have been up to that task. And finally, I get to capitalize on a mistake by the Cobblers.
Mm-hmm. So that makes it 9-0 now on the State Farm scoreboard. Rapid City Stevens leading Rapid City Central. We have just 14 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
And the Cobblers, they are not built to come from behind, to air the ball out and fly around and make big plays. That's the Raiders we're talking about. So this possession, obviously defensively they have to come up with something here. They can't let the Raiders get up. That'll be 3 scores, assuming they get the full amount of points they're going to get out of this. That'll be 3 scores that they will be up if they don't stop the Raiders on this one.
Last year, these two teams met, and it was Rapid City Stevens getting the win 49-0. The year prior to that, the Cobblers got the win over the Raiders 32-28. Here comes the kickoff from the 20. This one just a squib kick. It's going to be down by the Raiders at the 39-yard line.
I don't know if they're trying to catch them off guard and hit the right one, but is this the time you take your chances?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You're only down 2 scores, and now you just gave the Raiders an extremely short field.
They are 1st and 10 now on the Cobbler 39-yard line. With 12 seconds, they may run just the one play. We'll see what they can squeeze in here in 12 seconds. They're going to send Scott and Meisman to the right, Beck Morgan to the left. Here's Jed Jensen out of the shotgun. He'll follow his blockers to the right side at the 40-yard line, cuts back to the 35, and now the ball is loose. The ball is loose, and the Cobblers say they have it.
Again, Jensen, instead of just stepping out of bounds, trying to get something a little bit extra out of that, and it's going to be recovered by the Raiders. And so they'll keep possession when we start the second quarter.
That'll do it after 1 quarter of play here on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. It's Rapid City Stevens 9, Rapid City Central nothing. We'll return in 30 seconds right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City and foxsportsrapidcity.com.
And Sports Medicine, we are here to help you make your comeback. Our team is standing by to diagnose and treat your injury with some of the most advanced treatment options available and same-day appointments. Monument Health practitioners work closely with our therapists and physicians in communities throughout the Black Hills, with locations in Rapid City and Spearfish. Visit monument.health/orthopedics for more information. That's monument.health/orthopedics for more information.
So I think the Raiders
advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with Colton, who's right here in the area. And a portion of all sales made go right back to school. Get a hold of Colton today, and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Dean and I, Dean Burr and myself, Rob Winters. Between the first and second quarters, and it looks like Rapid City Stevens wins the tuba race this year. And the poor Rapid City Central tuba, that thing is in rough shape.
Yeah, are you gonna? Do they throw it in the audience after that? And then you get fined for that.
I don't know what they do. But again, thanks for joining us on Fox Sports Rapid City. We're looking at 2nd and 6 coming up now for Rapid City Stevens. They're on the Cobbler 35-yard line. There's the shotgun snap to Jensen. Jensen flushed out of the pocket, escapes one tackler, rolls out to his right, gets rid of the football. He's just going to throw it out of bounds there, as he had no receiver available.
Well, the closest receiver was Jared Vasquez over there with his paperwork trying to chase that one down. But, yeah, a good job. I thought maybe he might start running out of there, out of that pocket. But, again, he stayed with it, went downfield. I think he was just trying to get rid of the ball and live for another down. So now 3rd and long for the Raiders.
3rd and 6 from the Cobbler 35. The Raiders just taking their time getting up to the line of scrimmage. They're down to 8 seconds now on the play clock. They're in a hurry now. They'll go trips left, one receiver right. Down to 3 seconds. There's the snap to Jensen out of the gun. Looking back to his left, has a receiver. It's going to be caught there at the 25, down to the 20-yard line by Beck Morgan.
And so it's 3rd and long. The Cobblers chose a cover 2 kind of zone, a spread out zone defense. And the hard part about that is when you allow guys running, when you guys let guys just run all over the place and settle in the middle of a zone and don't cover it, a good quarterback is just going to pick that apart all day. And so, fortunately for the Cobblers, at least, the Raiders came up with another penalty, forcing them back.
That's the 5th penalty now in this first quarter and 20 seconds of the next quarter. So 5 penalties for the Raiders.
2 15-yarders.
Mm-hmm. So now they're back in their own territory, back to the 48-yard line, facing a 3rd and 23. They'll go spread offense. Meisman and Scott to this left. Sobzak and Morgan to the right. Out of the shotgun, dropping back is going to be Jensen. Rolls out to his right, gets rid of the football. The nearest receiver was Beck Morgan, but it is thrown out of bounds, incomplete. Now 4th down for the Raiders.
Yeah, and how about that? Good job by the Cobblers. The pressure up the middle. I saw one Raider get pancaked over by the defensive rusher, and then I saw Will Papke almost shoestring tackled Jed Jensen. So, again, they're just rushing 3 and putting a little bit of penetration and forcing Jensen out of the pocket.
So the Raiders had a short field to work with, but penalty pushes them back, and now they are forced to punt. This one, a short end-over-end punt, lands at the 30, now inside, down to the 25-yard line. It keeps rolling down to the 20, so it takes a Raider bounce, and they are going to pin the Cobblers inside their own 20.
Well, we talked about the Cobblers need a big stop here because they're not the type of offense that's going to make this big-time comeback, throwing the ball all over the place. They get the stop with the help of the Raiders, and now they get a set up. Again, plenty of game left. You still got to stick to your game plan of just being able to grind this out.
Just under 11 minutes to play on the State Farm scoreboard here in this first half. 9-0 is your score. Here's Cobbler football, though, as they trail. They're going to hand it off. This one goes from Wetch to Soderlund. He'll take it from the 19 out to the 22-yard line for a pickup of 3. 2nd and 7 coming up now for the Cobblers. Perfect night, of course, coming up at halftime. We are going to talk about this ball game, plus get you up to date on all the scores, especially with playoff action taking place across the state. There's the handoff. And we're going to get a penalty marker that comes in, but a nice run there by Zach Soderlund on the left side of the line. Takes it to the 35-yard line, which would be a first down, but we'll see them sort out that penalty marker.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Probably going to be a hold again. Yep. Here's the question I got right now. Who wants to win this game? Neither team is showing right now that they want to win. With the penalties and just the sloppy, discipline, I'm going to use that word, of what's going on right now. And, currently it's hurting the Cobblers worse than the Raiders, but definitely the Raiders, they could be up easily 4 scores right now had it not been for some of those penalties.
Now the Cobblers looking at a 2nd and 14 I formation with Wetch under center. Hands it off. It goes to Soderlund. Soderlund is going to be wrapped up in the backfield. In fact, he gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no gain there to the 15-yard line to make it now 3rd and 14 coming up.
That was Caden Strong again coming in and making that hit with some help with his teammates. I thought I saw number 50 out there for the Raiders, but I don't know who's wearing number 50.
Number 50 for the Raiders. I'll have to try to do some research.
Yeah, unless I'm... there it is. Graydon Bakke.
So now trips right, 1 receiver left. Here's Ryan Wetch on 3rd and log. Takes it from the shotgun. A wobbly pass to the right side. It's underthrown for Braden Mount. Falls incomplete, and now 4th down coming up for the Cobblers.
So he actually had a shot at that. If he gets a better throw away, Mount makes the catch. It wouldn't have been a first down. He would have had to fight his way for that, but there was an open opportunity for him. Again, it was a deep out, and he just needed to connect, but the pass wasn't even anywhere near catchable.
So another punt by the Cobblers. Corderdoni will be back deep at midfield. Catches it right at the 50. Now to the 45. Cuts back to his left. Penalty marker comes flying in. He's at the 40, down to the 35, the 30, and then forced out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. A return of 25 yards, but is this one coming back?
Likely. You get those kick returns, punt returns. You can't help the blocks and the backs and the holds.
Again, Scott Jacobson is our referee for the night.
They're definitely earning their money tonight, and we're not even halfway through the second quarter. Oh, and that's going to go against the Cobblers. Wow.
So we did have 2 penalties. One was waved off, and they accepted the other one.
And I thought he pointed toward the Cobblers. I thought he pointed
both times. So that had to have been against the Raiders.
Yeah, I think he just pointed in the wrong direction.
So that is now 6 penalties on the Raiders. So
hence my voice inflection of, that was against the Cobblers?
So the Raiders will take over on their own 47-yard line, rather. 1st and 10 going from right to left here at O'Hara Stadium. Out of the shotgun, Jensen hands the ball off and tripped up in the backfield. It was Luke Hansen, or 35, is it?
Yeah,
or
it was Luke Hansen. Good job that time. That was it Jackson Verminson for the Cobblers coming in? Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Jackson Fairchild was the one who tripped him. It looked like there was a clear hole for him to run through, and Fairchild was, I don't know, he didn't even get his hand down. Did he stick his leg out? Obviously that's not legal, but.
And it looks like that's number 35, Peyton, is it Wojanowicz?
Oh, yeah.
The 5'11", 190-pound senior running back.
Yeah, he's come in a few times this year, got a little extra playing opportunities.
Tight formation now. Here's Jensen. He's going to throw it to the left side to Meisman. He makes the catch, and then he could not haul it in. It's going to be dropped.
I think he caught it low, and then as he was bringing it down, his leg, he's got big, long legs, high knees. I think his knee hit it and shot it out of his hands like a rocket.
It would have been a nice catch inside the 30-yard line. Instead, it's going to be 3rd and 9 coming up for Rapid City Stevens.
It would have been a great throw and catch because he had the over-under coverage. The Cobblers were there, but the throw was just picture perfect.
Again, tight formation now. Here's Jensen out of the shotgun. He'll drop back, look to his left, gets it to Scott. Scott at the 50. He's going to be wrapped up as he makes the catch. I'm sorry, that was Beck Morgan, number 1, who made the catch, but that's a short gain right at midfield.
Yeah, and definitely some excited Cobblers out there. Who was that? That was number 28 for the Cobblers. Is it 28? He was excited for that big play.
He was. So it's going to be 4th down now, so the Raiders are forced to punt. Back deep is going to be Jackson Verminson and also Jace Johnson. There's the snap. There's the punt by the Raiders. A high end over end. The Cobblers just get away from it, rather, and it's going to bounce inside the 20-yard line to the 19. So the Cobblers, again, they'll get the ball back, just not able to find some consistent offense here or being able to move the ball as they trail 9-0 with 7.5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
And I'll be honest, I'm kind of a little shocked. This is probably the best I've seen the Cobblers play defense, probably all season, and the Raiders are just shooting themselves in the foot. We're not just talking about penalties, opportunities to get the balls in the right places, and they're just not making those plays.
So here come the Cobblers, 1st and 10 from their own 19, going left to right. There's that Wildcat to Soderlin. Zach Soderlin takes it to the 25-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 6. 2nd and 4 now for the Cobblers. Ball on the right side, hash marks.
Zach the Wildcat.
That's right.
Again, just doing a great job. He just reads the double team block wherever you need it, and they keep pushing forward. The Raiders have dropped into just a 4-man front now.
Here's Soderlin again, out of the shotgun. Follows his blocker right up the gut, cuts back to his right, still on his feet. He's at the 30-yard line, now back to his left. Gets inside the 35 or out past the 35-yard line.
Just a fantastic job that time. At the snap, the Raider linebackers were filling. It was all pressure, and Soderlin either saw it or what, I don't know what he did, but he went to the outside, cut to the outside. He actually shed the block of, I got to figure my proper list here. Hayden Gephardt had him right in his hands and was not able to bring him down. So a good first down run by Zach the Wildcat.
1st and 10. They'll hand the ball off to Sawyer Sosserman. This time tries to find that gap on the left side of the line. Takes it to the 40 for a gain of 2.
Yeah, you got to keep him honest. So what happened, the reason why the Cobblers were able to do what they did against the O'Gorman Knights is exactly what the Raiders just did in the previous play. They instantly brought their linebackers up, and then their safeties read that right away too and dove in, and it was those opportunities that Soderlin took and bounced it to the outside, and all of a sudden you've got safeties and everybody in the box and nobody on the perimeter.
We're looking at
right here.
2nd and 8 again. There's the reverse. It's going to be Jackson Fairchild, and Fairchild's going to be tripped up as he gets out past the 40 to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, the hard part about that reverse is sometimes you commit everybody to that direction. You want to sell it. Unfortunately, the Raiders weren't fooled on that one, and Aiden Unterbrenner stayed home exactly what he's supposed to do. Nobody got a hat on him, and he is able to put a stop to that reverse.
So the Cobblers in a hurry come up to the line of scrimmage. Ryan Wetch stays out there at quarterback out of the gun. We're looking at 3rd and 5 coming up from the 47-yard line, or 48. There's the handoff. It goes to Saucerman, and Saucerman is going to be stopped at about the 45-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th and short for the Cobblers. Again, that's on their own 46-yard line is where they'll mark or spot the football.
I would not be surprised if they went for it on this one. Obviously, they're approaching midfield. You don't want to give the Raiders short field at all. And I see Wetch going in there. So
It is 4th and 2 right now for the Cobblers.
We might get a throw on this one.
Again, a tight formation. Ryan Wetch out of the shotgun once again. Trying a long snap count to draw the Raiders offside. Now he's going to take a timeout, I believe. With 4:28 remaining in the second quarter on the State Farm scoreboard, the score remains Rapid City Stevens 9 and Rapid City Central nothing.
I saw the offensive coordinator, Connor Birch, looking over the head coach. Okay, what are we going to do on this one? Type of situation, of course. That's always my favorite play. Just draw them offsides.
Just some scores real quickly during this timeout on the State Farm scoreboard. A final tonight, Winner 62, lead Deadwood 7. So the Gold Diggers season comes to a close tonight.
That was 44-17 the last time they played.
And Elk Point Jefferson, they defeat Rapid City Christian 58-7 was the final there. With 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, it's Dual 13, St. Thomas More 10. So what a game that first-round playoff game is.
Yep, Ron Colley's on top of Mobridge Pollock 29-0. He didn't want to share that score.
No, I did not want to. No.
It's all good.
Having grown up a Mobridge Tiger.
McCook Central Montrose over Sioux Valley, 20-7. And Hot Springs over Bridgewater, Emory, Ethan, 21-0.
Wow.
Yeah, with 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. So Hot Springs Bison.
On fourth down, it's Soderlin, and he's going to take it into Raider territory, and the line is still pushing him. He is moving forward all the way down to the Raider 41-yard line.
Boy, that gets everybody pumped up. That was easily an additional 5 yards, and boy, they could have kept going and going and going. Just love the push you got for that one. And again, the Raiders are everyone's tight in the box. And they're diving into the middle of that play, and Soderlin sees that, and he pops to the outside, follows a couple of blockers, and hits the perimeter, and then his pack comes with him.
That was a 12-yard gain that time with some help for Soderlin. Again, out of that Wildcat, Soderlin breaks it to the outside. He's at the 35, down to the 30, the 25, trying to stay in bounds, but he's going to be forced out at the 23-yard line. But the Cobblers, again, found what works best for them, and it's that running game out of the Wildcat with Zach Soderlin.
Yeah, again, and if your defensive ends don't contain, that's what happened. That time, Bryce Swanson had his hands on him, but Soderlin runs so hard he can run out of tackles. We've seen at least 2 of them that I've seen on my side in this drive alone that he's just ran out of.
Soderlin, a 5'9", 175-pound junior, so back for another year for the Cobblers next year. Soderlin out of the Wildcat. There's the handoff to Saucerman, this time to the left side of the line, but he's going to be wrapped up as he gets to the 21-yard line. Just a short gain of maybe 2 yards.
I think Lucas Kant is probably going to get credit for that tackle, but he was just laying on the ground and everyone's tripping all over him.
They spot the ball at the 21, maybe the 22.
He's probably like, "What? Hey, did you get the number of that truck? I got tire tracks on my back."
Just a gain of 1 there. So 2nd and 9 now from the 22-yard line.
Or more like a herd of buffalo or something.
Again, this game coming your way on GoRaidersLive.com, so we appreciate you watching there and supporting local sponsors.
And that's Saucerman that time. Did he get the direct snap? Saucerman driving forward, and look at the line, just push and push. Boy, that's what you love. If anything, maybe you don't have maybe you don't have a speedy lineman who can get out in front of a block or something, pull a guard here or there, or, and maybe they're not the biggest guys, but if they can get the push that they're looking for, and again, the Raiders got ran all over last week by the Rough Riders, and Jackson Grevin's good. And the Cobblers showing that they can do that here today, too.
3rd and 1. Soderlund again breaks it to the outside. He's at the 10, follows his blocker, and now forced out of bounds at the 7, maybe 8-yard line. But Soderlund just doing it for the Cobblers. You get that mix of him and Sawyer Saucerman. And again, it really is just, they found what works best for them.
Yeah, inside, outside. We saw this last week in the second quarter. Mm-hmm. They started doing this, and as long as they don't have any of those mistakes, as long as they can get positive yards on every play, no penalties, they can churn this out.
1st and goal now for the Cobblers, trailing 9-0 to the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. Here's Soderlund out of the Wildcat. Tries to go right up the gut. He is going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. No gain there by Soderlund. We're looking at 2nd and goal now from the 6.
Yeah, getting pressure in there. That was Parker Barnes was the first defender to get it in there. Again, they were 5-man front earlier, went to 4. I think they're back at a 5 right now. Just that's a typical goal line defense, so that's not anything unusual, but you got to be able to get that penetration. Even if you get double teamed, you have to be able to stand your ground. Sometimes it's just get to the ground and make them stumble over you.
2nd and goal from the 6. Wetch hands the ball off. We're going right to the right side of the line.
Didn't get it.
Soderlund again down to the 1-yard line for the Cobblers. I think that was Soderlund, number 5.
Yep, I think it was too. Because I saw Sosserman over there on the other side.
So now we're looking at 3rd and goal coming up for the Cobblers from the 1, and the Raiders take a timeout.
Yeah, they want to sit and talk about this. Obviously, they want to conserve some time, get the ball back. You're going to see the ball flying through the air when they get that opportunity, but they would love to come up with a goal line stand here, and they got to talk to their guys. Okay, first of all, you got to make sure that you don't get tricked on an end or someone kind of sneaking out and around, because they're so focused on that inside, on protecting the tackle box and getting in there. So the pressure, the linebackers, and everybody, we got to make sure someone doesn't slip out behind you and they get an easy toss for a touchdown. Again, I don't think the Cobblers have completed a pass tonight, but that's not out of the question. They've got 2 shots at it. Where are they at? They're right at the 1-yard line.
1:15 to go here in the second quarter. 9-0 on the State Farm scoreboard. Rapid City Stevens leading Rapid City Central in the Rapid City rivalry game. But, of course, the Cobblers knocking on the door. 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line.
Boy, Cobblers put something in here before half, and that's a huge win for them. Huge. Absolutely huge win for them.
They'll go I formation now. Ryan Wetch under center. Takes the snap, hands the ball off to Soderlund, and he's going to be stopped in the backfield. He is tackled for a loss back at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, the pressure coming from the right side of that Raider line. I think it took too long. That's the downside of the turnaround handoff versus the Wildcat that they've been running. You get that turnaround, and it's if you're focusing on the middle and you got speedy ends, linebackers coming in from the backside who are sealing that outside and can get to you quickly, then that just knocks all that down. I thought maybe Wetch might actually do a quarterback dive in this situation.
4th and goal coming up, I formation. And we're going to get a penalty marker. It was a long snap count, and it looks like the Raiders jumped.
And it actually worked. So half the distance. They have to go Wildcat on this one.
And also the fact we're down to 33 seconds.
And again, 4th down. The Cobblers are not in a hurry. They have 15 seconds on the play clock.
Clock is running. We're on to 15 seconds left in this first half. Again, 4th and goal from the 2. And we get another timeout. Now the Cobblers want to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is such a huge play. If they walk away here with no points, it's by no means the end of the game, but I think the life that they just built driving down the field on this one, showing the same life that they showed last week against a very good O'Gorman team, and they marched exactly this same scenario, marched right down the middle of the field, except for they were down by 3 or 4 touchdowns. But they marched right down the middle of the field against the starting defense for the O'Gorman Knights and were able to drive right down. And so they want to take that momentum and use it, get it in the end zone. They're not going to get the ball to start the second half with. So they want that extra life. Go with such confidence, such positive energy into the locker room.
10 seconds remaining in this first half. 9-0, the Raiders with the lead over the Cobblers. Cobblers now facing a 4th and goal from the 2-yard line.
In less than 10 seconds, one team is going to be cheering really, really loudly.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. We'll turn up the Nat sound mic real loud. Again, here's Soderlin out of the Wildcat. Takes the snap. He'll go right up the gut. Did he get in? The officials come running in from the sideline, and he did not.
He's going to say no.
They're going to say he is short as they mark him just shy of the goal line. What a huge stop there for the Raiders.
Yeah, obviously the sound is not the big horseshoe or anything like that, but it's definitely, you heard the Raider fans come up and just excited. What a goal line stand that they came up with. Just the Cobblers not able to get that little extra push. I thought it was the right play call, just
I think so.
Not quite there.
Mike Oster came in from that sideline saying that it was not a touchdown. So they spot the ball. I mean, it is so close to the goal line right now. Just 1 second remaining, so the Raiders will have to run one play here in this first half. And we're going to get a penalty marker from Jason McGow on this near sideline.
Somebody lined up in the wrong spot. Yeah, they obviously can't kneel because it's a safety, and I don't know that I would run it. I would hike it and just throw an incomplete pass. Just throw it at the feet of one of your receivers.
And it's going to be against the Cobblers, their 5th penalty in this first half.
Well, now they can just kneel it.
Yep, now the ball is going to be moved out to the 5-yard line, and the scoreboard goes down. There it comes back up slowly. Just 1 second remaining here before halftime. Our halftime show coming up next, right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Here's Jed Jensen out of the shotgun. There's the snap. There's the handoff. It'll go to Hansen. Hansen right up the middle. He's going to be stopped at the 11-yard line. And that is going to do it. That's the end of the first half here at O'Hara Stadium for the Rapid City rivalry game. On the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agent Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. At halftime, it's Rapid City Stevens 9 and Rapid City Central nothing. We'll return in 2 minutes for the halftime show, right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM.
You're looking for our Denny Menno Rushmore Honda. Shop imports and domestics, many local one-owner trade-ins, plus the area's best selection of pre-owned Hondas and Honda certified pre-owned. Buy with no money down and get financing available as low as 1.99% APR. That's no down and financing as low as 1.99%. Our great prices and low financing rates make now the best time to buy. See us at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com.
Limestone canyons, flowing waterfalls, and pristine beauty make Spearfish a sanctuary for those seeking the ultimate escape. Outdoor enthusiasts will find top-notch sport climbing, mountain biking, and UTV OHV trails. Guests are steps away from peaceful hiking trails and tranquil streams. Relax and rehash your day's adventure at one of our award-winning local breweries. Finding rest is an important part of any adventure. Lodging in Spearfish comes with a variety of choices, from cabins, B&Bs, and campgrounds to the comforts of your popular brand name hotels. To find your unique adventure in Spearfish, go to visitspearfish.com now.
Star Spangled Batter on Jackson Boulevard in Rapid City, South Dakota. Famous for their delicious cakes, cupcakes, and other tasty baked goods. But did you know they're the only bakery in town to offer free consultations? Not to mention free samples when planning your big or small wedding. They also take special orders for that special party for that special someone. Check out their daily specials on Facebook or call ahead to grab some goodies for the office on your way to work. Star Spangled Banner is a proud sponsor of Rapid City sports and activities on liveticket.tv.
Would you buy your insurance?
The 2022 Raider boys soccer team. Fresh off their 4-1 victory over Sioux Falls Lincoln this past Saturday. The number 6 seeded Raiders defeated
Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth, Sales Service and Recreation. Back here at Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham. This is the halftime show right here on Fox Sports Rapid City and online at foxsportsrapidcity.com. Here at halftime of the Rapid City rivalry game, a low-scoring affair. Right now, Rapid City Stevens leading Rapid City Central 9-0 is your score here at halftime. Of course, in last year's game, it was Rapid City Stevens running away with it 49-0 over Rapid City Central. But Dean, we've seen a game, or I should say we've seen a first half filled with penalties by both teams. But just neither team finding that offensive rhythm, and the defense for both teams has really just stood up strong.
Yeah, and they definitely have. If you like this weather here the next few days, it's great. It's gonna get as sloppy as this game is here coming up on Sunday here. Just penalties all over the place. I knew the potential there for a low-scoring affair. I thought if the Cobblers do what the Cobblers could do, what they showed they could do in that last drive, except for the scoring the touchdown, be able to drive, chew up clock, march down the field. I thought if they did that and kept the Raiders off of the field, then this would be a low-scoring affair. Well, I got half of that. It is a low-scoring affair, but it isn't because they kept the Raiders off of their offense off the field. It's actually because the Raiders have been hurting themselves. Cobblers have come up with some good defensive spots here and there, but for the most part, the Raiders just offensively, they're misfiring, their mistakes, not getting where they need to. The Cobblers are putting some pressure on Jensen and making him move around. So they've created some plays there, have the Cobblers defense. But when you just add in the penalties by the Raiders, and again, the mistakes, dropping balls, not getting the ball to where they need to in the secondary, I thought they would just be able to, if they wanted to, just be able to carve up this secondary of the Cobblers. But right now, that hasn't happened. They've chosen to be more conservative. They're running the ball a lot more, which I thought maybe they wanted to do somewhat as well, to try to establish a little bit of a running game should they win this game and advance. They're going to need that when they go on to play Sioux Falls Jefferson. So work on some of those things, but it's a lot of short routes. It's a lot of short routes, and I'm thinking it's going to open up opportunities downfield. But right now, they're just stumbling over themselves so badly that except for the snap over the head of the punter, they've only scored one touchdown in this half. And to be honest, I'm just quite shocked of the Raiders. Now, talk about the Cobblers. How about that? They have not been without their faults as well. Plenty of penalties that have killed drives for them. Could have easily put the ball right into the Raiders' hands, and they could have just taken advantage of it, but they didn't. But the Cobblers have been able to hang in there, actually stopped him a couple times on defense, and now finally we got to see what this Cobbler offense can do. Churn, churn, churn. I mean, there's more butter out there than anyone ever wants, but just because what they can do. And Zach, the Wildcat, doing what he does and just marching it down the field. And unfortunately, not able to punch the ball in. I think that's definitely going to hurt the psyche of the Cobblers as they come back onto the second half. The Raiders are going to get the ball. And if the Raiders get it, march downfield, big play, whatever happens, they end up scoring. They're quickly down 3 scores. And I think that is really going to put the Cobblers back against the wall. Had they been able to get that one, even if the Raiders score this opening possession of the second half, I think it definitely would have been a different game. So a lot of pressure on the Cobbler defense because they have to come up with something big here. They don't want to go down 3 scores.
Absolutely. Again, this is the halftime show right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. At halftime, Rapid City Stevens leading Rapid City Central 9-0 is your score. We talked about all the penalties in this first half. 7 for Rapid City Stevens through the first half. 5 for Rapid City Central. Just breaking down the scoring, the only scoring we have in this ball game so far, with 2:52 left in the first quarter, Rapid City Stevens got on the scoreboard first with a 1-yard run by Luke Hansen right up the gut. That made it 7-0 after the Parker Mesmer extra point. And then with just 14 seconds remaining in that first quarter, it was a high snap over the head of the punter, Jackson Verminson. He chased down the loose ball for the Cobblers. He was tackled in the end zone for the safety. And again, that's our scoring in this first half, 9-0 as Rapid City Stevens leads Rapid City Central. Dean, any big changes, anything you see? You know, in the past, we've seen the Raiders just take those deep shots, and we know that the Cobblers, you know, they have the running game. But anything specifically that you think is going to make the difference here in the second half?
I do think the Raiders are going to take more deep shots. I think they're going to try to continue, you know, continue more of the short and running game, possession type game, possessions that they're looking for. But I do think they're going to take more shots down the field. They're obviously going to see how this game gets dictated. They might do that in the first possession, and if they end up scoring, then I think they're going to go back to their original game plan and how things work. For the Cobblers, I think they just need to come out and continue doing what they do without the penalties, obviously. I think they'll definitely have some success. Again, I think this whole second half will be dictated by this first possession by the Raiders. If they can come up with something, Cobblers can't stop them. I think that's going to
just set the tone for the second half.
Yeah, that's going to set the tone, put their backs right up against the wall. But if they can come up with the Cobblers come up with a big play, this is going to be a nice, tight game.
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens between these two teams in the second half. Rapid City Stevens leading Rapid City Central 9-0 at halftime. Right now, the Cobbler Marching Band, they are performing here at the break in front of a huge crowd here at halftime. Up next will be the Rapid City Stevens Raiders Marching Band. They will be performing next, again, on just a very festive night here. It always is when these two teams meet for the Rapid City rivalry. So again, on the State Farm scoreboard, it is Rapid City Stevens 9, Rapid City Central nothing. We will step aside for another 2 minutes. When we come back, of course, we'll get you up to date on all the scores across the state of South Dakota, and we'll get you up to date on playoff action. We'll do that when we return right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and online at foxsportsrapidcity.com.
I have one if it works.
They use only the highest quality material. They never
try that one out.
Is
it working?
Okay.
I only have these. I mean, I have more in my vehicle, but I just grabbed these two. I don't even know what that one is. I'm not sure where I got that one out.
Brandon Valley, St. Thomas More. Yeah, they're done 27-10. They've got 2 minutes left.
I thought if they would get a higher seed, they could have won something.
So, Roosevelt. For some reason, Roosevelt beats Jefferson. If for some reason, Harrisburg would be the 1 seed. No, but Roosevelt would get the 6th seed because Brandon Valley beat Washington. Brandon Valley's 5. I don't think Jefferson's going to just let them beat it. Lincoln, and 2 minutes left. Harrisburg leading 20-7. it's a wild playoff picture in 11 AA.
And welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, sales, service, and recreation. We welcome you back here to the halftime show right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. For the Rapid City rivalry, it's Rapid City Stevens 9 and Rapid City Central nothing in a low-scoring first half. The Cobbler Marching Band just finishing up. The Raider Marching Band, they are running out onto the field next, so we will be hearing them in the background again on a perfect Thursday night here in late October as we wrap up the regular season. Again, with Dean Gurr, I'm Jerome Wickersham. This is the halftime show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Let's take a look at scores and kind of maybe get take a look at that playoff picture as well. But a big win tonight in Class 11 AAA's Brandon Valley defeats Sioux Falls, Washington 35-33. And then also Sioux Falls Lincoln over Aberdeen Central 42-7. With 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, it's a battle over there in Sioux Falls as it's Harrisburg 20 and O'Gorman 17. And then also with 8 minutes left in the first, Sioux Falls Jefferson leading Sioux Falls Roosevelt 7-0.
And, with that win, Brandon Valley will be the 5 seed. We already said that Lincoln was going to be the 4 seed, and Jefferson is going to be the 1 seed no matter what happens. Should Roosevelt decide to beat, Jefferson, a fantastic Jefferson team, they would be the 6th seed. Otherwise, they'll be the number 7, and Washington will be the 6th. And, again, the winner of the Harrisburg-O'Gorman game, winner will be 2, the loser will be 3, if you're keeping track of your brackets at home.
Okay. Also in Class 11 AA, it's T Area all over Watertown tonight, 39-6, and that's with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. T Area just their second year moving up to Class 11 AA. Also, we have Yankton 21, Huron 7. With 3 minutes left in the second quarter, it's Pier 39 and Douglas 0. That game being played out there at Patriot Stadium. At the end of the first half, it's Mitchell 21 and Brookings 14. And then also at halftime, it's Spearfish 21 and Sturgis 6. And if we take a look at the Kearney files from, dig deep into the Kearney files, which I know I have them here.
Yeah, while you're looking for that, it's kind of crazy because Pierre's going to be the number 1, T's going to be the number 2, Aberdeen Central's going to be number 3, but after that, it's kind of up in the air. And if Mitchell beats Brookings, that's going to mess things up. If Sturgis loses, they're still going to make the playoffs, but then they're going to have to travel to play a Pierre or T area team. So that's something they didn't want to do.
So again, back to that Spearfish Sturgis again, 21-6. Last year, Spearfish is leading Sturgis 21-6. Since 2004, Sturgis has a winning record against the Spartans. They're 10-8. Spearfish has won. They did win last year's game though, 21-19. Prior to that, in 2020 and 2019, Sturgis put up. It looks like. 88 points on the Spearfish in 2 wins.
Wow, that's quite amazing. But, I think Spearfish has been playing better ball lately. So I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that the score is, it's only halftime, so it's only 21-6. But, Spearfish is, they've kind of come on a little bit. And so, if they get that win, they will boost themselves up out of that 8 spot there. Everyone's trying to get into that 6 spot because no one wants to play Pierre or T. They would rather play Aberdeen Central. And, of course, a Sturgis wins, that's where they would be. Assuming that the Brookings-Mitchell game, looking at the winner of that one, if, Brookings and Yankton both win, then Sturgis will be the number 6 seed, assuming they win. But if Mitchell wins, that will move Sturgis up if they win. But right now they're struggling to do that. That will drop them, and Spearfish will be able to kind of sneak in that bracket. Again, it kind of those bottom from 4 to 8 is all over the place, and Yankton, Brookings, and Sturgis have all made it. It's just where are they going to land, and can Mitchell or Huron sneak in there, and Watertown all fighting for those last 2 spots.
And we may find out later tonight as well. with Score Central with Matt Kearney, as he has an extended playoff edition tonight where he will wrap up all the scores and look at those playoff matchups as they come into tonight. As we move to Class 11A, of course, Custer forfeit now for the second straight week, so they forfeit to Madison. Also, Canton over Chamberlain, 32-0 at halftime. It's West Central 22, Millbank 6. Sioux Falls Christian 27 and Lennox 0 in their game. Top-ranked Del Rapids, they're leading Dakota Valley, the number 4 ranked team, 14-6 in the third quarter. Earlier, it was Beersford over Lakota Tech, 52-0. And then in Belle Fourche tonight, at the end of the first half, it's Vermilion 14, Belle Fourche 0.
And the O'Gorman Knights have just scored to take the lead with a minute left to go on Harrisburg, 24-20.
Wow, that big game there over there. And being played, it's a home game for the O'Gorman Knights. Now we'll take a look at some playoff games tonight in Class 11B. Of course, 11B and the 9-man classes started their postseason tonight. Here on our halftime show on Fox Sports Rapid City, a longer halftime show due to both marching bands performing for Rapid City Central and Rapid City Stevens here tonight. 9-0 is your score. Rapid City Stevens leading the Cobblers here at the break. In Class 11B on the State Farm scoreboard, Winter continues to dominate. They're the number 1 overall seed in Class 11B, and they down Lee Deadwood tonight 62-7. So Lee Deadwood finishes their season at 4 wins and 5 losses. Also, another big win for Elk Point Jefferson is, I don't know, I think they're just hoping they can make a run at that title game and meet Winter. What a showdown that would be.
So this is their best season they've ever had in school history. So I know they're excited, and you know when you have just such potential, and we want it with this group of guys that are here. They were tough last year. They're even tougher this year, and so they're in the right spot of the bracket where they're going to, assuming these teams keep winning, they would meet in the championship game.
So Elk Point Jefferson defeats Rapid City Christian with their first-year head coach Matt McIntosh, if I'm right there. Elk Point Jefferson 58, Rapid City Christian 7. So the Comets in their season at 4-5 as well. Also a final tonight, it is Dual 27 and St. Thomas More 10. So the Cavaliers, their season comes to a close with a record of 5 wins and 4 losses. Of course, the Cavaliers battled injuries throughout the entire season, losing their starting quarterback right at the first game. I understand he did come back there late in the season, but also you had Matt Larson. He was dinged up, or Charlie Larson.
Matt Larson.
Matt is the younger one. So Matt Larson dinged up, just battling through injuries. But unfortunately, the Cavaliers lose tonight, 27-10.
Yeah, I was definitely hopeful for the Cavaliers this year. Like you said, they had Negebauer, and they've got a cast that a lot of guys got a lot of varsity time last year, coming back again this year. But like you said, Negebauer gets hurt early on. I think they were somewhat able to overcome that a little bit with the dual freshman quarterbacks that they use. But when Matt Larson went down, I think it really changed the Hot Springs game. I think that game would have been a lot closer. I don't know if they would have won that, to be honest, because Hot Springs is doing pretty good.
They are.
But I think that definitely changed the aspect of that game, and then he really couldn't play against Roncalli, so that changed that one. And I've never seen anyone do so well in the first round of the playoffs as the Cavaliers, but unfortunately, this is 2 seasons in a row now that they have fallen short in that first round game.
They have. Also at halftime, Aberdeen Roncalli 39, Mobridge Pollock 0. Mount Vernon Plankington over Tri-Valley 22-10 in the third quarter. McCook Central Montrose 28, Sioux Valley 13, also in the third. At halftime, Hot Springs leading Bridgewater Emory Ethan 21-6. This is just the third meeting ever between these two schools, and Bridgewater coming in, they are 2-0 against the Bison.
I'll tell you what's also really odd about this is Bridgewater was 6-3 last year coming into the playoffs, and they end up going to the Dome. So you kind of thought they could do something. Plus, Riley Enders, I think is the player's name. He's been out their last 3 games. They've lost the last 3 games. He got back here tonight, but it doesn't matter because Hot Springs is doing a good job, at least so far. It's only halftime there, so, plenty more time to go yet, but the Hot Springs Bison and their quarterback, and they got a big, tough, physical line and just athletic out there. Preston Iverson's their quarterback, and he ducks under those big linemen, and he just finds holes and he runs all over the place. Plus, he can deliver the strikes where he needs to.
Now, barring any upsets in this Class 11B, it's likely, though, Hot Springs, if they win, and you can correct me, Dean, I know you do all the figuring, but if they win, would they have to go then to Aberdeen-Roncalli?
I did not see what that bracket is actually out there, and I'm not even looking at it. I'm busy watching the game so far. But, I don't know what seed Hot Springs is, but
it looks like they would. If in the bracket, they would have to go to Aberdeen-Roncalli. And they're perfect right now. I mean, likely moving on to 9-0 on the season.
Yeah, and again, they're playing super duper well. Roncalli is. They got Jackson Isaacson, I believe is the name. I think he's their quarterback. He's actually going to move on to play college ball as a punter and a kicker.
From a cartoon character?
What's up, Doc?
Cartoons are good for a laugh, but when you're in an accident or you need your home covered and need help, it's no laughing matter. That's why you need a real person, like Lance at Van Z Insurance Associates. It's not just simple insurance either. Lance has you covered with home, life, auto, and business. Van Z Insurance is your place to call. Stop by today or give Lance a call at 605-393-2399.
Your first car. It might not have been perfect, but that didn't matter. You loved it because you worked hard for it. You took care of it, and it took care of you, your friends, and maybe that someone special. And through it all, we were there working with you, for you, to make sure it was a smooth ride. Farmers Union Insurance. More choices, great rates, local agents. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today. Your first.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in hospitality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable, even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name. When you ask...
We all want to be happy, but sometimes that doesn't feel possible. But if you have hope, you have everything. Rising Hope Counseling provides high-quality mental health services with locations across South Dakota. Additionally, by providing telehealth, we ensure South Dakota's rural residents have access to high-quality mental health services. Our team lives and works in your communities, and we understand the unique challenges we face. Schedule an appointment by phone or online today. Rising Hope Counseling, offering hope, healing, and change. We all want to be...
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
scoreboard. Rapid City Stevens leading Rapid City Central 9-0 is your score. Cobblers did have a chance to get a touchdown. They were it was a goal line stance though by the Raider defense. Here's just a short end-over-end kick. It's going to be a fair catch called for at the 35-yard line. So the Raiders with good field position to start this second half.
I think they're trying to take something out of the playbook of the Rough Riders last week. That's exactly what happened. After the kick return for a touchdown, they kicked off to that very similar, just a short, trying to find a hole out there. But Lucas Canta was there and ready for that. Calls fair catch. Gives the Raiders an opportunity. I would not be surprised if they kind of open up things a little bit here to try to get this lead that they're looking for.
1st and 10 for the Raiders, going from right to left, or heading towards the scoreboard here at O'Hara Stadium. There's the handoff. It goes to Luke Hansen. Hansen takes it right up the gut there, takes it to the 38-yard line. That's a gain of 3 yards for Hansen. And now the Raiders facing a 2nd and 7.
He kind of ushers himself over there to get the play call. Spread him out, dive it up the middle. Kind of doing that all night. Yeah, the Raiders, and that's not odd. That's a very similar play for them.
Spread offense now. Here's Scott in motion on that jet sweep. They'll hand it off to Scott. Scott around the tackle on the right side at the 40-yard line. Still on his feet, out past the 45 and down or forced out of bounds at about the 46-yard line, maybe 48. It is the 48. That looks to be about a gain of 10 yards, and that's going to move the chains for the Raiders.
Again, this is such a huge defensive series for the Cobblers. They are not built to mount this amazing comeback by throwing the ball all over the field. They're a grind them out type of team, and they do that fairly well. And if they can come up with something big here, a turnover, something somehow to try to keep the Raiders off of the scoreboard, I think they can have a lot more confidence.
And Scott Jacobson, the referee and the umpire, they're taking a look at a brace on the leg of number 58 of the Raiders.
I thought he lost a contact lens or something.
Oh, you think so?
They were kind of looking on the ground there, and they were kind of looking around, and they're going to make him come out.
So number 58 will come out.
And they're going to talk to him
That
about
is
it.
Aurel Lopez.
So I don't know if they added something on to it or something.
Or it just needs to be adjusted. I'm not sure. They're talking to the coaching staff over there.
It could be. There's definitely, padding, and I don't know the specific rules on, what you have. If you have like a cast, you have to have the appropriate padding on it. And you're supposed to go show the official before the game. Is this good? Yep, it looks good. Type of scenario. So I don't know if that's what they're going to talk about here. They must have added something on halftime because they didn't say anything through the whole entire first half, and now.
And the official's still over there. That's Scott Jacobson.
Right, and they're talking about what is necessary for him to get him back into the game.
And he's coming right back out.
Did they?
So I don't know.
Did they take it off?
I think he still has a brace on that right leg.
Okay.
So I don't know if they adjusted something or. But Lopez is back out there. Here come the Raiders up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 from their own 48. Going from right to left. Here's Jensen out of the shotgun once again. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Hands the ball off. This one is going to go to Luke Hansen. And Hansen takes it to the 48-yard line. That's right back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. That'll make it 2nd and 10 now coming up. Maybe a half a yard.
A good job that time. That was Brock Corrigan coming off of his defensive end spot. He was actually the backside end of that play because that went to the left side of the Raider line, and he came in from the right side and chased him down from behind.
So it looks like a gain of 1 to the 49-yard line. So 2nd and 9 now for the Raiders again.
Here's your throwing situation.
Jensen out of the gun, throws back to his right, has a receiver. That's going to be Morgan on that far side. Morgan makes the catch. And he is tackled in Cobbler territory down to the 46-yard line.
Good job. A good open field tackle that time, forcing a 3rd down situation. Looking to see who that is. Is it 24? Way over there on the far sideline, or was it number 2? Was that Ryan Silbernagel?
I think so. So it looks like a gain of 5 yards. So now we're looking at 3rd and 4 coming up. Jensen will go out of the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Ball on the right side, hash marks. He takes the snap, drops back, looks to his right. Little hitch route there. It's going to be caught by Morgan, and then he's forced out of bounds. But that will once again, I think it's going to move the chains.
Well, we got something. Now we're going to come over here and do some talking, the umpire, and it's going to be a hold against the Raiders.
Another penalty. 8 penalties in this ball game now for Rapid City Stevens.
And again, now that's going to put him in a 3rd and long situation. And the Cobblers have actually done a fairly decent job against the Raiders when they're in that long situation. We know the Raiders have big play capabilities, and we're going to see that. We're going to see Jensen work his magic here. He did it against Lincoln. Again, they were down 3 scores at halftime, came back to tie that up and force an overtime loss, unfortunately, that they had for them. But a little communication. But they're trying to figure out who's going where, and we saw players running off the field to the last second. So I can see Coach Scott over there, hand on his hips, going, okay, what's going on here? You guys got to know your situation, know where we're at, know who's going to come in, know who's coming out. Well, I can feel that frustration.
So a quick timeout by the Raiders. On the State Farm scoreboard, it's the score remains Rapid City Stevens 9, Rapid City Central nothing. We'll return in 30 seconds right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. I haven't seen Kate in a while.
It's probably lost.
Belly Brothers Auto Tech is the bark of the town. Belly Brothers is one of the top-rated local auto shops in South Dakota. From an oil change to transmission repairs, they'll treat your car with exceptional service at reasonable rates, with plenty of financing options.
Rapid City Stevens on 3rd and 15 coming out of that timeout. They throw right down the middle, but it's incomplete. It was thrown short, intended for Cale Meisman, but now that forces or brings up a 4th down for the Raiders.
Boy, it's so unfortunate because Jensen had plenty of time. Meisman was wide open, and he just delivered the ball too low. Again, there have been times over the season where he just has misfired somehow, some way, either a little bit of an overthrow, misjudging speed of receivers, or throwing something into the dirt, and that's what happened there.
Here comes the high end-over-end punt by Rapid City Stevens. It lands just inside the 30. It's still rolling. It rolls inside the 20. I think it hit a Raider. Otherwise, it probably rolled a little farther.
Yeah, it did. But you're right. The first touching is at the 25-yard line, and that's where they're going to place the ball. Again, the Raiders were right there. They're ready to pounce on him. Should he decide that he wanted to touch the ball, but he didn't. Again, you don't see. As high as he kicks the ball, it allows his cover team to get down there, which is, fantastic. You sacrifice a little bit of yardage, but he's done a good job of getting that ball to land and get a good roll backwards. But unfortunately, his team didn't help him out that time.
Again, we're back here at the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, sales, service, and recreation. Cobblers now with the football for the first time in this third quarter. The ball is on the ground. Is it the first turnover of the ball game?
I think it is. You saw Ryan Wetch turn around. He had the ball right up on his shoulder pad trying to get it down, and I think he just didn't have the timing to drop it down to his running back. Didn't get a handle on it. The ball's on the turf. You saw Wetch kind of look there, and he just instantly started walking away. They hadn't even made a signal yet, and he knew it.
So the first giveaway tonight.
What an opportunity. Again, mistakes. Mistakes have hurt the Raiders already their first drive, and now a mistake by the Cobblers gives the ball right back to the Raiders and an opportunity.
Here comes the Raider offense. 9:18 to go in this third quarter. They lead 9-0 over the Cobblers on the State Farm scoreboard. They'll go trips left, 2 receivers right. There's that jet sweep. They give it to Scott. Scott at the 30, the 25, tries to turn the corner. He tries to get by Jace Johnson. Instead, he's going to be tackled at about the 22-yard line. That's going to be a gain of just 3 yards for Scott.
But we're going to get a flag. It's going to be it's going to be some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct.
Looks like face mask.
Oh, it was a face mask
against the Cobblers.
Yeah, that came all the way from the other side of the field, so I don't know who that was on. Usually on the tackler, but there was a Cobbler and a Raider going at it right on the near hash mark.
So we've seen a total of 14 penalties called through this in this ball game so far.
And the O'Gorman Knights pulled it out.
They did, huh?
24-20, beat
over
the
Harrisburg
Tigers to get the number 2 seed. Harrisburg, the number 3 seed.
9 minutes to go here in the third quarter. It's going to be first and goal coming up. There's Jensen. He hands the ball off to Doney. Doney tries to get through the gap on that left side, able to find some positive yards as he gets down to the 7-yard line. And we hear the crowd now getting into the chants on the far sideline.
Yeah, again, with a mistake by the Cobblers, it just sets up an opportunity for the Raiders right here. Can just put this up by 3 scores and an opportunity that the Cobblers did not want.
Trips right now, 1 receiver left. That's Meisman on single coverage. They fake the handoff. There's a screen pass to Scott at the 10 to the 5. He's heading for the end zone, and he's going to be tackled just shy of the touchdown.
I think he got hit by one of the linemen, got over there,
so.
And absolutely just spun him around to the ground. Again, a little screen pass to the outlet there. He had blockers in front of him. He decided to cut inside, and it looked like he was going to waltz right in, but then a Cobbler came over, white jersey, absolutely spun him around as he hit the deck.
So it is now 3rd and 1. In fact, they'll be right at the 1-yard line. They could still get a first down and not get into the end zone. Here's Hansen now, moves from left to right. Jensen out of the shotgun. Trips left, 1 receiver right. He drops back, looks to his left, throws for the end zone, and it's through the hands of Julian Scott. On an out route there, it just goes through the hands of Scott, and now 4th and 1 coming up for the Raiders.
And Tate Crossway comes in. Are they going to kick a field goal here? I thought Jensen held it, but nope, Jensen's staying out there. Which is worthy. I wouldn't kick a field goal here. I would definitely go for it. You're already up.
You're up 9-0.
Yep.
Your defense has been holding. They are going to go for it. They're going to send Morgan to the right. 2 receivers left. Here's Jensen out of the shotgun. He's going to follow his blockers on the option there, and he's going to run it in for the score. 1 yard out for Jed Jensen, and the Raiders go up 15-0 over the Cobblers.
And what better player to make that happen? Jed Jensen, he's been the leader of this offense all season long. They call his number. They called it early on. He got some good yardage out of that. And again, they call it this time. Spread him out, put one-on-one coverage on the perimeter, and Jensen just follows his blockers and goes in untouched.
Here's the extra point attempt by Parker Mesmer, and this one is no good. A wide right that time. So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agent Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, 7:24 remaining in this third quarter. It's the Raiders 15, the Cobblers nothing. We'll return in 30 seconds right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and online at foxsportsrapidcity.com, as well as GoRaidersLive.com.
Also available. Holding an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau since 2008, Belly Brothers will get your tail wagging. And visit Jennifer Young next door for your tax accounting needs.
Now that we're in the final quarter of the year, it's time to start thinking about the 2022 tax year. W-2s and 1099s are scheduled to be out in January, but don't worry, Jennifer Young's bookkeeping services has you covered. They stay on top of the ever-changing tax laws impacting small businesses and corporations. Jennifer Young's bookkeeping has your best interests at heart. Don't wait until the last minute. Get a head start on your 2022 taxes. Call Jennifer Young or go to jenniferyoungsbookkeeping.com or find her on Facebook.
Auto sales, service, and detail broadcast booth, sales, service, and recreation. Parker Mesmer gets set to kick off for Rapid City Stevens, going from right to left. It's Verminson and also Jace Johnson back deep. This is going to be Verminson. He lets it bounce, and it's going to be down by the Raiders.
Why in the world would you do
Actually,
that?
it's going to be recovered.
Yeah, what?
The Raiders will have the football.
Verminson just absolutely lost his mind, and then his coach did it as well. Getting on him, it's a mental game as much as it is a physical game, and he absolutely thought the ball was going to go out of bounds, I think, and then he stood there and watched it thinking, okay, they're going to touch it, it's going to be down. Yeah. Nope, it's a live ball.
It's a live ball.
Once it goes 10 yards past that 50, it is a live ball, and he stood there and just watched it. I stand corrected that it was actually still just a 2-score game, but now all of a sudden, because of the mental mistake, you are in serious jeopardy of now going down 3 scores.
So they recover the kick. And now we're going to get a penalty marker, I believe, against
it was the
Raiders.
Raiders jumped on that. And you saw the offensive coordinator of the Central Cobblers right there. He turns around almost in disbelief. You're a varsity player. How do you not know that you need to get on top of that ball?
Yeah, because it was live. And again, I'm not sure, like you said, if he thought it was just going to roll out of bounce. It's not like a punt return,
right? And it just died, and then he stood there and watched it. What he could have done is a smart play. He could have ran out of bounds and then leaned over and touched it, which means the ball would have been out of bounds.
Jensen fakes the handoff, rolls out to his right, throws to the right side. It is bobbled and incomplete. It was bobbled there by Cale Meisman, so it is ruled incomplete.
And I'll tell you what, unfortunate for the Raiders, we had high hopes. Cale Meisman, he came in on the scene, transferred in, did a lot of great things early on in the season. But the last several games I've been kind of watching, he just has not had really the best games, or at least that he had the earlier part of the season. And, if they go on to win this game and they want to stand any chance against Jefferson, they need to have his hands and his speed.
We're looking at 2nd and 15 now from the 21-yard line of the Cobblers. And the Raiders are forced to take another timeout. They have now just one timeout remaining.
I don't know if they had a miscommunication of what the play needed to be, but it's 2nd and long. I was looking through some scores. Brookings Mitchell are now tied at 21, start of the 4th period, and with 6 minutes left to go in the 3rd, Spearfish and Sturgis are also tied at 21. I was throwing some scenarios out there. Sturgis, if they win and Mitchell wins and Huron, all 3 of those teams win, Sturgis would host a playoff game, and it would likely be Mitchell. As it is, if they stay the 6th seed, they will go play Aberdeen Central, a team that they beat earlier this season. So a lot of things going on in the playoffs.
And right now, Hot Springs over Bridgewater Emory Ethan, 31-6. Here's Jensen now rolling out to his right, gets rid of the football, and then out route there. It's caught by Morgan. He runs out of bounds, though, at the 13-yard line. So that's going to be a gain of about 8 yards.
Make things now a 3rd and manageable for the Raiders. And again, they're in, even if they don't score here, or rather, even if they don't get a touchdown here, they still got an opportunity to kick a field goal and go up 3 scores.
So now with 7:11 remaining in the 3rd quarter, 15-0 Raiders with the lead. They go 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Jensen fakes the handoff. Now he's looking back to his left. He's going to tuck it in and run. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5. Cuts back to his right. And he's going to be tackled at the 5-yard line, and that's going to be enough for a first down, but I thought I saw a penalty marker. Maybe I was mistaken.
Jensen running around there. I'll tell you what I saw. I saw a cobbler hitting the ground, and he ran into the umpire. And the umpire stayed upright. I don't know who the umpire is on that one, but he did a good job. All of a sudden, the umpire's there. The cobbler's on the ground. He's kind of saying, hey, man, sorry.
So it's now going to be 1st and goal coming up for the Raiders. They already lead 15-0. 6:35 actually. Scott goes in motion. There's the jet sweep to Scott. Scott around the tackle. He's at the 5, and he's in for the touchdown.
Great job. Just the blocking at the point of attack. Luke Hansen, I saw his block. He was sealing his guy off easily. That's the number one spot. You're going to run a jet sweep. The most dangerous guy is the one you got to block, and you take out the defensive end. He's out. Then you got a linebacker, and there were other Raiders blocking the linebackers as well. Nobody got within 5 yards of him as he escorts himself into the end zone.
So Scott into the end zone untouched. Here's the extra point attempt. There's the snap, the hold, and this one is through the uprights. On the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. 6:27 remaining in the third quarter. It's now Rapid City Stevens 22 and Rapid City Central nothing. We'll return in 30 seconds right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Alternative Fuel Coffee House, located in downtown Rapid City, has been a staple since 2006, offering an espresso bar, smoothie bar, and more. If food is what you're looking for, check out their menu. Using local ingredients for their drinks and recipes is their way of showing how important shopping local is. Come in and visit them during skating and patio season for the best coffee experience in town. Who's filling up your cup? Alternative Fuel Coffee House.
Sales, service, and recreation. With Dean Gurr, I'm Jerome Wickersham on this Thursday night as we wrap up the South Dakota High School football regular season here tonight. Here's a end-over-end kick. It's going to bounce inside the 20. And this time the Cobblers, that is Verminson, he's going to just jump on the football. He's not going to make the same mistake twice there as he kind of bobbles the football, but then he jumps on it to down it at that point.
Yeah, once your butt's kicked once, you learn really well from what you need to. But yeah, just such an unfortunate, mental mistake. And the Cobblers, that was our number one key to the game, or just the mistakes. It seems to be that way every week that we're doing games. That's so critical, and it's happened to both of them, but, the Raiders have been able to overcome a few of those mistakes, but the Cobblers have not. How about this for a formation?
A very different formation with really only one lineman.
Literally spread formation.
Spread formation, but it's going to be sacked in the backfield. Is that...
So what they're trying to do is they're just trying to catch them off guard, see how the defense adjusts to it, maybe even get them to burn a timeout if they can't adjust to where they need to. And as they line up,
that was Jace Johnson who took the direct snap. He was tackled back at the 15-yard line.
There still has to, no matter how spread out there still has to be 7 players on the line, and that's the way they had it. And it creates an opportunity. You get a chance to throw 2 screen passes, one side or another, and instead he just kept it and thought he could outrun the defense up the middle.
Here's Soderlund on the left side of the line, tries to break one tackler. He's able to shed one tackler and then take it out past the 20 to the 22-yard line, or maybe 21, for a gain of about 6 yards.
Yeah, the Cobblers just trying to get cute with that first play to try to get something happen. Usually you do that after a couple of plays. You got like a third and mid-range opportunity, or maybe like a fourth, and you're inside the opponent's territory. You need to come up with something big, so you throw that out there to try to throw them off guard.
We're looking at 3rd and 8 coming up. Now here's Soderlund once again, follows his blocker to the right side of the line. He tries to escape, and instead he's going to go down, and we see a flag that comes in from the referee.
Yeah, he just couldn't get out of just a hand grab. Someone grabbed his jersey, or maybe even inside the pad, whatever it was, kind of grabbed him, and he was spun around, and the Raiders just using every part of their body, even their hands, to get in on that tackle. But unfortunately, another mistake by the Cobblers, adding to the tally of our penalties tonight. I don't know. I don't know how deep Kearney can get into those Kearney files, because I don't know if they keep track of these stats that well, or at least make them readily available. How many penalties this is mounting up to be?
I know unofficially I have the Cobblers with 7, the Raiders with 9. On fourth down, there's the punt by Rapid City Central. This is going to be a short punt that just angles out of bounds there. So we'll see where they spot the football.
And so that offense that we saw that was able to chew up some yards in the first half for the Cobblers, not able to do that here in the second half. Mental mistakes just proved too much so far as we cruise along here with just over a quarter to go, a quarter and a third. I don't know, my math isn't that well, so that's why I'm doing this.
We have 4:58 remaining in the third quarter, 22-0. Raiders on top of the Cobblers. 2 receivers left. Here's Jed Jensen now, drops back. Out of the backfield, there's the catch made by Sobczak. He's at the 30, the 25, 20, down to the 15-yard line and forced out of bounds. But Nash Sobczak, he started earlier in the season, does not get a lot of playing time, but makes a nice one-handed catch there.
Yeah, he definitely just pulls it right out of the air. It's a great play because he just went right under that defense. Nobody was there. He turns the corner and outruns them across the sideline. He's a big first down for the Raiders.
Sobczak, a big receiver. He's 6'3". It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Raiders, again in the red zone. On the Cobbler 14-yard line, they'll go trips right, 1 receiver left. Scott now from the shotgun. Screen pass to the right side. Sobczak makes the catch, but he's going to be tackled immediately as he made the catch. In fact, they'll put him right back at the line of scrimmage, so no gain to bring up 2nd and 10.
Nice little safe pass over there. Again, they don't really need to go downfield because they're, for the most part, well in control of this game. You see Cale Meisman actually just single coverage here on this side. I'm surprised they haven't gone to him a little bit more. But, when you're down inside the red zone, there isn't a lot of field to work with.
So now the Raiders facing 2nd and 10 from the Cobbler 14. Ball on the right side, hash marks. Little confusion there.
This is just crazy. Last game of the season, you don't know the plays.
They fake the handoff. Jensen throws down the middle. It's caught by the receiver, and he goes in untouched. Nash Sobczak down the middle with a 14-yard touchdown reception.
I'll tell you, it was almost as if they were destined to get that ball in his hands. So. He got the big end out play underneath over here. Then they went screen pass to the right side, and then they found him right in the middle of the formation. He makes the catch with coverage on top of him, spins around and gets into the end zone. So Nash Sobczak gets into the stat book.
A 14-yard touchdown reception by Sobczak. Here's the extra point attempt, and this one is through the uprights. 3:55 remaining in the third quarter on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by Agent Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. Right now it's Rapid City Stevens 29 and Rapid City Central nothing. We'll return in 30 seconds right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City and online at foxsportsrapidcity.com.
Alternative fuel. Looking to spruce things up for dinner tonight? Order online or buy the Inferno's Food by Fire app for your best meal in Rapid City. Inferno's has the best Stonefire signature pizzas, sandwiches, and fresh salads. Build your own pizza all while watching the latest high school or NFL action. Even better, receive a 10% discount off your next order when you mention Live Ticket. That's at Inferno's Food by Fire.
With Dean Gurr, I'm Jerome Wickersham. Here's the kickoff by the Raiders. This one just a short end over end. Takes a bounce inside the 20, though. It's going to be returned just a couple of yards there by the Cobblers. A little bit of pushing going on there, but it looks like the Cobblers will hold on to the football.
Yeah, he was definitely spun around. You can see, obviously, the Raiders, they're trying to put it in a spot. They don't want to hit it to the 2 back guys. They're going to hit it to a couple of the up guys and see if they can get them to either make a mental mistake or drop the ball or get caught in the corner or something like that.
So this third quarter has belonged to the Raiders. They led 9-0 at halftime, but they've outscored the Cobblers in this third quarter to break this game open 20-0.
Well, I realize we haven't hit Halloween yet, but the Cobblers have given the Raiders a couple of nice gifts here early on in this half.
Here's Soderlund now from the shotgun. And that's actually not Soderlund. I think that is, we see a penalty marker, but that's going to be the big tight end. I think that was Jackson Fairchild. Number 47 is who that was. He takes it right up the middle, a nice gain out to the 31-yard line, but a penalty marker there in the backfield. So this one is headed in the wrong direction for the Cobblers. And that is going to be their 8th penalty. So we've seen a total tonight of 17 penalties between these two teams. You think last game of the regular season, a lot of things are going to be cleaned up at this point.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's necessarily cleaned up so much as they're just trying to make plays. It's the last game. You think you got a chance to win this one, both teams, and you're just trying to make plays.
They're going to air it down the right sideline for Jace Johnson, and it's just out of the fingertips there of Jace Johnson, but a penalty marker, a couple of them, back inside the 40-yard line.
Are they going to get Corder Doney with that, or is it going to come to someone else? Because the flag isn't near where Doney was. Doney, where Doney made contact with Jace Johnson was between the 40 and 45-yard line of the Cobblers. Are we going to get more like a holding in the middle of the...
One official talking to Corder Doney. Again, that was Jackson Fairchild.
But there's also a flag all the way back at the 12-yard line.
So we'll see if we can see or get Scott Jacobson's explanation.
Personal foul. And then something against... Personal foul against both teams in that offset. I was wondering because I thought it was great coverage by Corder Doney. And I mean, Jace Johnson actually had his fingertips on it. Should have made that catch. How about that throw?
By Jackson Fairchild.
Yeah. So the OC throwing in some extracurricular plays in here. Why not? You've got just over a quarter left of your season. If you don't get this win here, you might as well empty out your playbook.
It's going to be Fairchild now to the left side of the line on first and 20. And Fairchild's going to be tackled there. A gain of 3 yards from out to the 14-yard line.
So is Zach Soderlund not in the game? Because Fairchild's running the Wildcat here.
Yeah, Soderlund's down on the sidelines there. And closest or towards the coaches there.
Sure, yep, I see what you're talking about. Right by the down marker, and he's just standing there like he's ready to go in.
Here's Fairchild now. He's going to roll out to his right, being chased. A penalty marker in the backfield. Almost a catch there by Jace Johnson. He had to go up to the air, get some air there to try to make the catch. It's incomplete, but yet another penalty marker.
Yeah, and it's going to be a hold against the Cobblers as, again, he was trying to – Fairchild was chased out of the pocket, and there was a block right behind him, and I think just the Raiders were trying to get pressure on there. So when you're an offensive lineman and you have to block, you have to get your hands on their chest plate and hold on to it. Once that defender escapes your interior grasp as you're keeping your elbows and your hands inside your body, once you're still holding on to them as they're trying to get around you, you're just fighting like heck to try to make that play. Keep your feet moving to stay in front of the defender who is rushing in. Once you get outside and they see your hands still holding onto that chest plate outside of your body, they're going to call that hold.
And I think we are going to get a timeout by Rapid City Central with 2:06 remaining here in the third quarter on the State Farm scoreboard. The score remains Rapid City Stevens 29, Rapid City Central nothing. We'll return in 30 seconds right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Signature wings, world-class burgers, and the best steak in Rapid City. And 10% off your order when you mention Live Ticket TV. All that, plus a perfect spot to watch the game found at Shooter's Woodfire Grill. From its full and complete menu to its one-of-a-kind dessert menu, Shooters has everything you want. Use the Shooters app for its daily specials like Sunday steak specials. And don't forget to mention Live Ticket with your order to receive a 10% discount only at Shooters Woodfire Grill.
It's Chevy truck season at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet. New Chevy trucks are arriving daily with more inbound. Buy them before they get here and get any available incentives. There's more. We'll give you an additional $1,000 discount on most new Silverado 1500s. It's a Denny Menholt exclusive. Log on to DennyMenholtRapidChevrolet.com. Find what's on the way and buy it before it arrives. Truck season is here. Find new roads at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet or DennyMenholtRapidChevrolet.com. It's
See who that was. It looks like it was number 5, so Zach Soderlin back in. Short gain from the 4 out to the 7-yard line. So now 3rd and 24 coming up for the Raiders.
ISML Wildcat.
For the Cobblers, rather.
As Ryan Wetch came out. Oh, he just came to get the play. Now he's heading back over the sideline, or back at the huddle there.
Here come the Cobblers up to the line of scrimmage. Now they're go spread offense. Wetch out of the shotgun, empty backfield. Throws it up for grabs, and it's almost intercepted.
Yeah, that was a 50-50 ball. Corderdoni was right there, ready to take it. Actually, who was wide open? Was it Fairchild? He was the inside slot guy. He did a stop-and-go route at about 10 yards, but the ball got out so quickly that he didn't have a chance to even read him. He was right toward the middle, and he would have been wide open had he seen him.
So now 4th down coming up for Rapid City Central. And they're 4th and 24. There's the high snap. There's the punt. It's going to bounce at the 30 to the 35, picked up by Doney at the 40. He's down that right sideline, gets it back to the 30-yard line before he's forced out of bounds. But the Raiders, though, in great field position as they are in control of this contest, leading 29-0.
Yeah, absolutely. This game, which they struggled with in the first half, to just muster a measly 9 points at halftime, was able to, in the second half, basically the Cobblers handed them and said, here, we think you need a little bit of help, and so they were kindly obligated, gave it to it, and the Raiders have taken advantage of those gifts. They don't look a gift horse in the mouth, and they have moved the ball.
So the Raiders trying to put the exclamation point on this ball game. They hand the ball off. It's either Hansen or I know they also run number 35.
Yeah, Watinowitz.
Yep.
Yep, and it is 35. You are spot on.
So Peyton Watinowitz?
He's his own spotter.
Yeah. So he's going to get it take it for 5 yards. Then we get movement on this near side. That's going to be offsides against the Raiders. I think it was Cale Meisman who jumped early.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was feeling a little left out of the game. Didn't think we got enough penalties. Thought we might just add another one into it.
That's number 10 now on the Raiders in this ball game. That's going to back them up 5 yards back to the original line of scrimmage. So we're looking at 2nd and 10 with 42 seconds to go here in quarter number 3. And the Raiders leading 29-0. Jed Jensen will go out of the shotgun. There's the snap to Jensen. 3-step drop looking to his left. Now he airs it down the sideline for Meisman, and Meisman makes the catch. Is it a touchdown? It is.
Yeah, 1 foot in, yep.
A 29-yard touchdown strike to Cale Meisman.
I know the Cobblers were looking at it saying, wait a minute, he didn't get his foot in, but you almost knew that was coming. you said, okay, they've been going short. At some point during this game, when they need it, they're going to unload one. And, of course, going to Cale Meisman. They did it to open the game, their first play from scrimmage, and now they finally hit. Great touch. Meisman just runs past the defender and tiptoes his way through the end zone.
Here's the extra point attempt, this by number 84, Talon Friend. This one is good. So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, that makes it the Raiders 36 and the Rapid City Central Cobblers nothing.
Chevy. Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. Hi, this is Nate Brown reminding you to join the Nate.
Well, and unfortunately, it was the mistakes that hurt it. The game plan, I thought, was decent. And they started and they tried to work it, but unfortunately it was a mistake, and then this mistake, and then that penalty, and then it just all of a sudden your whole game plan goes out the window.
Here's the kickoff. This one by Parker Mesmer. It's going to go end over end. Deep kick inside the 5-yard line. Cobblers bring it out to the 10, the 15-yard line. And might have been Jace Johnson. If it is, he's tackled just shy of the 20-yard line. It is number 22. He got hit hard.
Yeah, he did.
On that far sideline.
Talk about running into a wall there.
Now we're looking at 14 seconds remaining. Cobblers 1st and 10 from their own 19, going from left to right.
And that'll end the third quarter.
Raiders do lead 36-0 over their crosstown rivalry. And that will do it. That'll end the third quarter of play here at O'Hara Stadium. On the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agent.
Brown Show live weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. It's Rapid City's sports talk show and Rapid City's only call-in radio show. With big-name guests from across the country to the local sports coverage you just can't get anywhere else. Join the conversation every weekday for thought-provoking sports talk. This is your show. Don't miss the Nate Brown Show from 4 to 6 p.m. on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. And stream us all the time at foxsportsrapidcity.com. Hi, this.
My kid wrecked his car, his third car. The kid needs a car. We need the kid to have a car. What did I do? I begged my insurance agent for mercy. That's another story. Then I went to Copper Motors in Rapid City and found a safe, reliable car.
Copper & Motors is a small, trusted dealership specializing in safe, quality pre-owned vehicles. No pressure, no hassle. Each vehicle is inspected, serviced, and detailed with a warranty like no other. Copper & Motors, corner of Campbell and Omaha.
And welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, sales, service, and recreation. Again, it's Cobbler football to start this fourth quarter. They trail 36-0 to Rapid City Stevens.
Jace Johnson starts the running attack. Did a good run, first down carry, getting out there. Again, I think they're just going to continue to kind of churn this out. They're not going to, open it up and all of a sudden start throwing the ball, even though they are in spread formation. But it's a Wildcat. Jace Johnson is the quarterback.
Again, Johnson. There's the handoff to Soderlin. Soderlin on the move out to the 35-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 4 yards and a couple of penalty markers that come in late.
That fly around the rolling helmets that hopefully still has a head not inside. As it's Zach Soderlin's helmet comes off.
They spot the football right at the 35-yard line.
And it's a personal foul against the Raiders.
A face mask penalty against Rapid City Stevens. So they are up to 11 penalties, 9 for Rapid City Central.
And, you can kind of see that here. Obviously, it's not a close game. So, I think the hopes of one team dashed and, things start to get a little chippy. People, attitudes, unfortunately kind of start to fall apart a little bit. And going to keep on top of that.
1st and 10 from midfield. There's the pass. Johnson to Fairchild, and Fairchild is going to spin out of a tackle, and he'll fall forward inside Raider territory to the 43-yard line.
Is that the first pass completion?
I think it might be.
Of the game.
I
know they threw it several times, and a couple actually pretty good throws, but I think that might be the first completion.
So that was a gain of 7 yards to Fairchild. That'll bring up 2nd and 7 now, or I'm sorry, 2nd and 3 after a 7-yard pickup. 2nd and 3 for the Cobblers. Again, Chase Johnson out of that Wildcat, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, goes right up the gut. He's going to get out past the 40, down to the 35-yard line until he is slammed to the turf there. But that's going to be a gain of about 8 yards, and that's going to move the chains for the Cobblers with 9:22 remaining and the clock running here in the 4th quarter.
Hayden Gebhardt, the safety, is the one who the aforementioned slam to the ground. It was just a great play. What it was, a classic tackle. You get your shoulder where it is, you square them up, you wrap, you drive to the ground. Textbook tackling.
Absolutely. So now 1st and 10 for the Cobblers on the Raider 35. It'll be Jace Johnson. Fakes the handoff, goes right up the middle once again, and he's going to be wrapped up after a gain of 1 down to the 34-yard line.
They're just trying to put the right guys in the right spot that time. Again, they pull a guard, Ty Black Elk Volkman. He's the lead blocker on that one, and you try to beat him with numbers. Guys in the holes, and so instead of double teaming there, you do a down block where your line blocks one way. You pull a guy from the backside. He kicks out the defensive tackle, and they just didn't quite get it done that time.
Ryan Wetch back in the ball game now. He's going to throw down the left sideline for Johnson, who tries to make a one-handed catch, but he ran out of real estate there, could not haul it in, and it's going to be an incomplete pass.
Well, from Wetch, that was kind of where it needed to be because the defender was right there, so he had to throw it high, and Johnson had to try to come up with it. And again, you're pressed against the sideline, and that's just not happening there. Again, the passing game is just not their forte this year. It has not been. In all the games that we've seen, it hasn't happened. But, again, you're pulling out all the stops here. Why not 7.5 minutes to go?
Spread offense now on 3rd and 9. There's the handoff. It goes to Sawyer Sosserman, and the ball is loose. It's going to be picked up by the Raiders. Heading down the sideline at the 30, the 20, the 10. It's going to be a touchdown for the Raiders. Number 3, Tate Crossweight.
Yeah, fantastic. It looked like there was a lot of hole there. He went through it, and sometimes when you go through a hole that's wide, you have a tendency maybe not to cover the ball as much. Guys just reach out with their arms, and they just kind of grab, and all of a sudden the ball's on the turf, and Tate Crossweight gets the scoop and score. What was that, 60 yards?
I would say 60 or 70 yards.
60 I would say at least 60 because I thought he was about on the 40-yard line. So gets the scoop and score, and that's kind of puts the icing on that cake.
Absolutely. With 7:21 remaining, here's the extra point attempt by the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. They have just dominated this ball game. Jed Jensen will be the holder as they switch out personnel real quickly. There's the snap, the hold, and the kick is blocked. It was a very low snap to begin with, and it's going to be blocked by the Cobblers.
Yeah, coming in, big block. He's excited about that. Big fella gets in there. It was that number 82 for the Cobblers, Brock Corrigan.
So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by Agent Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, with 7:21 remaining in the 4th quarter, it's been all Rapid City Stevens. They lead Rapid City Central 42-0 is your score.
Yeah, and I don't know that I would say that the Raiders have dominated this game. They've definitely dominated the second half. The momentum was given to them by the Cobblers early in the third quarter. They did what good teams do. They took advantage of it. They got the extra possessions, so to speak, just from the mistakes from the Cobblers, and they moved the ball, pulled out their playbook a little bit like they normally do. They love to throw the ball down the field to hit their playmakers. Jensen found his guys, and then the defense, who has actually done a pretty good job against the Cobblers, keeping them out of the end zone. They had really one good drive. Aside from that, they've really kind of struggled to get that running game going here or there, and to cap it off, big scoop and score by the D and Tate Crossway.
Here's Parker Mesmer now. He'll kick off from the 40, going from left to right for the Raiders. This one, end over end, drops inside the 10-yard line. Jace Johnson on the return, they fake the reverse. It is Verminson back to the 40-yard line. Now he's at midfield at the 40 of the Raiders, the 35-30, the 25-20, the 15, the 10-5, and the touchdown for Jackson Verminson.
How about that? I can see them pulling that out because the Raiders gave up 2 kick returns for scores against Roosevelt last Saturday night. Teaming up with Jace Johnson, that's Jackson Verminson. I agree. I was kind of following the reverse, and instead he kept it, outran the cover team all the way down the sideline, pour on the speed, and avoid the shutout.
So a 90-yard return. He caught it just inside the 10-yard line. Jackson Verminson returns it 90 yards for Rapid City Central.
That's 3 kick returns in 2 weeks of 90-plus yards. The first one was 99. The second one, I believe, was 95. And would you say this one was?
Right about 90 yards. They caught it just inside the 10-yard line. They're going to go for the 2-point conversion. This is Jackson Fairchild, but he's going to be stopped just a couple of yards short of the end zone.
Might as well.
Yep. So that puts us now on the State Farm scoreboard with 7:05 remaining in the fourth quarter. Just like that, the Cobblers answer. It is now 42-6. Rapid City Stevens on top of Rapid City Central. And I know for the Cobblers, this has not been your night. Things have not gone well. But, to have something like that, it's a positive play. It does feel good if you're the Cobblers right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something just, to hang your hat on. For the seniors, this is their last night. Is Fairchild a senior? I think we talked about this earlier, I believe.
Fairchild
is a senior.
Yep.
So he gets that big.
That was Verminson.
Oh, I'm sorry, Verminson.
And he's a junior.
Oh, okay. So he's got more to go. But either way, like you said, it's this whole season has just been nothing but struggle, from numbers to just play execution. Obviously mistakes have reared their ugly head tonight for the Cobblers, and it's just at least something you can hang a little bright spot, a little glimmer of this unfortunate night.
And just to go back, we had Matt Kearney on instant replay tonight, and he says the Tate Crossway, that was a 67-yard fumble return for the touchdown.
Closer to 70. He's got me. I was kind of staring at the 40-yard line kind of when he picked it up. It looked like where he picked it up, but
here's just a squib kick there. Julian Scott loses the football. Then he picks it up inside the 20, out to the 25, the 30, breaks it out to the outside. He's at the 35, the 40, down the right sideline, cuts back in Cobbler territory, forced out of bounds at the
40-yard line, but another penalty marker comes flying in. Yeah, nice. That didn't smell good to start with, bobbling the ball, but he had a lot of room to initiate his run with, using his speed, got to the outside, had blockers in front of him, maybe a little too handsy. We'll see how this works. And it is against the Raiders, so they're going to march it back 10 yards.
Only their 12th penalty.
That's all.
That's one thing we've seen, like we said earlier in the ballgame with the Raiders. It's just been, penalties have just hampered them all season long.
Yeah, it has been. They've had some opportunities just go by the wayside just from penalties alone.
New quarterback out there, and also also number 35, the ball carrier.
Wotanowicz.
So Wotanowicz, he takes it into Cobbler territory. They were 1st and 10 from the 41. He takes it to the 48-yard line.
And is that Jacob Johnson? Is he the heir apparent to Jed Jensen?
So Jacob Johnston will be a 6-foot, 190-pound junior quarterback.
That'll be like 4 years in a row now. We've had JJ for quarterbacks. Assuming, obviously, the offseason could be anything. Somebody could transfer in for all we know, or maybe somebody steps up, has a great offseason. Who knows?
5:20 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Johnston hands the ball off. It goes to Wotanowicz again. And he's going to take it for another 10 yards inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. That is real close to a first down. Jason McGow says, move the chains.
And we got a new running back coming in. That is Destin Glenn. I wonder if he is related to Uriah Glenn. He's going to come in 5'9", 200-pound junior. See what he can do here to try to stake his claim as the running back of choice next year.
So we have Jacob Johnston again from the shotgun. That's going to be a jet sweep as they hand the ball off to number 85.
It's more like
Grayson,
a toss.
Grayson Riddle, a sophomore wide receiver. Again, a lot of new faces now with the Raiders in control, 42-6 on the State Farm scoreboard. 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Again, we have our post-game show coming up at the conclusion of this ball game tonight. We will also have our highlight of the game, our player of the game. Then, of course, an extended playoff version tonight of Score Central with Matt Kearney as he runs down the rest of the scores tonight.
Is Jefferson closing in? They're up 30-13, closing in on the first half.
Johnston now on the option, decides to keep it. Another penalty marker.
So, assuming that Sioux Falls Jefferson goes on to win that game against Roosevelt, again, I wouldn't be surprised if they sit starters here in the second half, not knowing exactly what's going on. But I think Roosevelt has really stepped up their game, coming up. And if they don't make it, then they will fall to the 7 seed. And again, Jefferson has locked up the number 1 seed. The winner of this game, which is we're assuming is going to be the Raiders, as they're up big right now, will have to travel next Thursday night to play the Sioux Falls Jefferson Cavaliers, a game we had earlier in the season, and it was not pretty. I thought the Raiders put up a good fight in a lot of different areas, but definitely was the mistakes that cost them in that game and made it as lopsided as it was.
Second and long now on Tripp's right. There's the pass. It's caught in the on a screen pass there by the receiver. He's going to get into Cobbler territory. That's number 24, I believe. And I don't have a 24 on my roster unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, I don't have it either. I'm going to look at the old one. Asher Browser.
Okay. Asher Browser makes the catch. Now we're looking at 3rd and 21 from the Cobbler 49. Just under 2.5 minutes to play on this Thursday night. After tonight, of course, the regular season comes to a close. Playoffs for all the classes continue next week.
O'Gorman will play Roosevelt, which that was a very interesting game here a couple of weeks ago. So
Johnson out of the shotgun, flushed out of the pocket, goes right up the gut. He's at the 45-yard line, spun around, could not get out of the tackle. They're going to mark him just shy of the 45-yard line. And now 4th down coming up for the Raiders.
And you could already see the coachable moment there. You saw him run through traffic, carrying the ball in his palm. He's pulling a Deion Sanders there, trying to get through there. He's like, hey, son, you got to tuck that ball away. That had potential fumble written all over it.
Down to the final 90 seconds of this ball game. There's a high snap. There's the punt by Rapid City Stevens. This one is going to bounce inside the 15-yard line. It goes all the way down inside the 5-yard line.
So an opportunity there. Number 6 will be Sioux Falls, Washington. They will play Harrisburg next Thursday night. And then, of course, Brandon Valley and Sioux Falls Lincoln will go at each other. And just excited to see the Sioux Falls Jefferson team. They are just an amazing They are just an amazing club, athletic, all over the place, just able to do lots of different things. Of course, Taylor and Ashley, they got a fantastic, have transferred in from other places, and we've just been amazed at what we saw a couple weeks ago when they came out here, and just absolutely the lines were physical, they were speedy, they had great hands. You're just shocked that a team of this caliber.
So the Cobblers had the football. We're going to get another safety.
Yeah, and again, I think it was a bad snap or a bad exchange. The ball hits the ground, and the player tried to pick it up but had his knee on the ground when he did, and he was kneeling just inside the goal line. So we're going to get a safety here.
So that makes it 44-6 with just 11 seconds remaining. Again, they were deep. They were inside the 5-yard line. A safety.
Does that just not throw the epitome of kind of how this game has gone for the Cobblers? Just, obviously just the closing seconds of this game, and you're just trying to make a play here to wrap up your season. Probably more of a forgettable season, unfortunately, for this Cobbler program, and you're just trying to close it out, and you got yet another mistake that really solidified what it meant for this game for the Cobblers.
So the Cobblers will kick off with 11 seconds remaining. They trail 44-6. After that safety.
That's 2 safeties in the game.
2 safeties in this ball game.
You don't see that too often.
Like I said, we'll have the Pioneer Bank and Trust post-game show coming up next. We will wrap up this ball game. And then an extended playoff version tonight of Score Central with Matt Kearney.
Spearfish leads Sturgis 28-27. 28-27 in overtime. Second overtime.
Wow.
Excited to see this
in
one
Spearfish,
here.
I believe.
Yes.
Fair catch called for at midfield by Rapid City Stevens. That is going to run out the clock, and that will do it. That is going to be your ball game on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agent Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. The final score, Rapid City Stevens 44 and Rapid City Central 6. With the win, Rapid City Stevens finishes the regular season with 3 wins and 6 losses. And for the Rapid City Central Cobblers, their season comes to an end as they finish 0-9 on the season. We're going to step aside. We'll return in 2 minutes with our post-game show right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City and foxsportsrapidcity.com.
Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet or DennyMenholtRapidChevrolet.com.
You're doing a lot. Maybe you're starting a family.
Can we do the kick return and then the scoop and score?
Growing a business. Security First Bank knows your life is constantly changing. And while our commitment remains constant, we're changing too. With tools,
it was like right before that Tate Crossway. They were both real close to each other, right?
You trust. For all the ways you're changing and all the things you're doing, we're the bank. Security First Bank. Member FDIC.
Your first car. It might not have been perfect, but that didn't matter. You loved it because you worked hard for it. You took care of it, and it took care of you, your friends, and maybe that someone special. And through it all, we were there working with you, for you, to make sure it was a smooth ride. Farmers Union Insurance. More choices, great rates, local agents. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in hospitality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable, even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name.
Belly Brothers Auto Tech is the bark of the town. Belly Brothers is one of the top-rated local auto shops in South Dakota. From an oil change to transmission repairs, they'll treat your car with exceptional service at reasonable rates, with plenty of financing options also available. Holding an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau since 2008, Belly Brothers will get your tail wagging. And visit Jennifer Young next door for your tax accounting needs.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
The cars, trucks, and SUVs you're looking for are at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Shop imports and domestics, many local one-owner trade-ins, plus the area's best selection of pre-owned Hondas and Honda certified pre-owned. Buy with no money down and get financing available as low as 1.99% APR. That's no down and financing as low as 1.99%. Our great prices and low financing rates make now the best time to buy. See us at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda or rushmorehonda.com.
How do we solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems? Our doctors and specialists collaborate, sharing their vast knowledge and Mayo Clinic's unique expertise. It's this working together that helps solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems. Monument Health, proud member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network.
Need tires? Denny Manholt Toyota will beat anyone's price on tires. Plus, give you 2-year road hazard coverage at no extra charge. And for a limited time, get up to $100 rebates on sets of 4 tires. Our experts help you get the right tires for your vehicle, and we meet or beat any price. Give you 2 years of road hazard coverage and up to a $100 rebate. That's how we roll. See us at Denny Manholt Toyota or justhowweroll.com. Chevy truck season at Denny Manholt Rapid Show.